And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On our latest Pop Culture Cosmos, we talk about Tron's actual legacy after the failure of Tron Ares. WWE goes AI. What's the deal with Seth Rollins? And are there just too many video game releases in the month of October? We talk about all that and more on the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Just want to make mention again for all you Laker heads out there. If you noticed, I dropped it earlier today, guys. I dropped it earlier today. It is my interview with the author of A Hollywood Ending: The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers, Yaron Weitzman, and I had a chance to chat. It's up now for the YouTube channel. I will go ahead and make it available here on Thursday for our audio listeners. But if you want to go ahead and get the book, please do so. It is a page turner. A page turner. It is a really, really good book for the inside, how shall I say it, old-fashioned, skinny, behind the scenes of what went on in the past few years with the Los Angeles Lakers. If you want to go ahead and reaffirm your beliefs on behind the scenes with Buss, Pelinka, LeBron, and more, go ahead and check it out today. It is A Hollywood Ending: The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers. I'll go ahead and post out as far as all the links for Amazon Prime. You can go ahead and get the book. But yes, it is a real page turner, and I think you'll like it. Go ahead and check it out today as well. But also as well, I want to go ahead and mention my good friend at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter, and also YouTube as well. Go ahead, follow him. You see Luka and Kobe right behind me. Such detailed canvas art right there. Absolutely fantastic. And if you didn't see what he did for me next, it's right here. Kobe and Gigi putting that pillow right there. Man, that is just so incredible. I'm not sure I even want to just put a head on it like that. It's just, man, it's just, I don't know. It's just so nice. I don't want to damage it or ruin it in any way possible, way, shape, or form. But if you have an idea or a concept in pop culture, sports, or what have you, that you want put on canvas art, a pillow, a t-shirt, a hat, or more, follow at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, go ahead and message him what you would like. He'll let you know if you can do it, how much, etc., etc. He'll ship it out to you. And there you go for yourself, or as a great holiday gift idea. You're supporting small business. You're supporting a good man. You're supporting a beautiful, beautiful art designer right there with Chris, the art director. Go ahead and give Drip Show some love at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. What's going on, my friends? I wanted to go ahead and make one more mention before we get into the show. I forgot to mention in our previews and predictions, the last two that were sent to me, one you're very familiar with, and one as far as one of our regular contributors in the chat. Want to go ahead and give a shout out to Eric Kwan. Eric, thank you so much for turning in your predictions and whatnot. So Eastern Conference, he has Cavaliers first place. Didn't get, off. It got off to a very competitive start. I'll just say that, between the Cavs and Knicks. And I will be covering tonight's games with a little bit of thoughts on each game here in a little bit. But didn't get off to the best starts for Cleveland on the road at MSG. But he has Cleveland, the Knicks, Hawks, Magic, Pistons. Eric Kwan has the Bucks next in 6th, the 76ers in 7th, Raptors in 8th, Heat, Bulls, Pacers, sorry, Murray, Celtics, not having a good year in Eric Kwan's lies, Hornets, who actually were pretty impressive tonight, but it was against the Nets, so how really impressive could that be? The Wizards and the Nets. In the Western Conference, the Thunder, the Nuggets, who have yet to play, will play tomorrow. We'll check them out. Timberwolves, who won on the road tonight, I believe. Rockets, Lakers, Mavericks, Spurs, Clippers. Oh boy, we'll talk about the Clippers here in a bit. That was probably the biggest surprise of everything that went on tonight. But we'll have to go ahead and talk about that here in a little bit. But I do want to mention them as well. And then, of course, he has, Eric Kwan has after, again, Timberwolves, Rockets, fourth place, the Lakers in fifth, the Mavericks in sixth, San Antonio in seventh, Clippers in eighth, Blazers in ninth, Grizzlies in 10th, Warriors, Pelicans, Suns, Kings, and Jazz. That Warriors pick after the first night, maybe not looking the greatest right there. But NBA Finals, he has the Cavs in 6 over the Thunder. The MVP is Nikola Jokic. Coach of the Year is Jamal Mosley out of Orlando. Rookie of the Year, stop me if you've heard this before, guys, Cooper Flagg. And Defensive Player of the Year is Victor Wembanyama. And the last one I wanted to go ahead and put, because he did have a whole bunch of expletives thrown the way of Mark, aka Xbox, when he made these predictions. So I had to take out all the expletives towards Mark. But it is Vari, our good friend Vari, aka Sports Baby. In the Eastern Conference, he has number 1, the Cavs, the Magics, the Knicks. Fourth place is Hawks. The Pistons in 5th. Milwaukee in 6th. His Pacers, 7th. The Miami Heat in 8th. Toronto, 9th. Doubles in 10th. Philadelphia 76ers in 11th. We'll talk about Philly here in a little bit as well. Boston, 12th. Brooklyn, 13th. Charlotte 14th, and the Wizards in 15th in the Eastern Conference. And Vari has in the Western Conference the Thunder in first, the Nuggets in second, the Clippers in third. That didn't age well, at least after the first game. Minnesota Timberwolves in fourth, Houston in fifth, Dallas in sixth, Golden State in seventh, San Antonio in eighth, Kings are ninth, 10th is Memphis, 11th is Suns, 12th in New Orleans, 13th is Portland, and 14th is Utah. And last in the Western Conference, he has the Los Angeles, I'll phrase it exactly the way he said it, the Los Angeles Fakers, who went from Shaq and Kobe to LeBron and Bronny cooked. And he had several emojis laughing in the process. So Vari, aka Sports Baby, has the Lakers in last place in the Western Conference. The NBA Finals are the Denver Nuggets and the Cavs, with Denver winning 4-2. The MVP is Jokic. Coach of the Year is that guy from the Rockets who had relations with the lady from the Boston front office. That is Ime Udoka, by the way, out of Houston. And the Defensive Player of the Year is Wembanyama. And I'm assuming he was thinking Rookie of the Year. And until today, I'm sure he probably, like everybody else, would have put Cooper Flagg as well. So with that, you have all of our predictions. If you want to check out the rest of our predictions, it is on the Monday show on YouTube, or it is also available wherever you get your podcast. But great to have you here. I also did get a mention from the Lakerholics. They actually reached out to me. I was very surprised. They reached out to me and said they want a Lakerholics show this weekend. I didn't have to nag them or anything like that, guys. So I was really happy about that. They're excited. Jamie will not be there because he's running a haunted house. I said to scare the kids because he's be doing as far as for his kid's school. I said if he wants to go to something really scary, go as Rob Pelinka. That'll scare a lot of the kids. So I'm going to host the Lakerholics show Saturday at 11 with Michael Heinrich, Laker Tom, and L. Rob says he will try to be there as well. I'm looking forward to that. L. Rob always provides great insight. Michael Heinrich absolutely as well. And then Laker Tom, you're going to get a lot of opinions from him on the Lakers. So looking forward to the Lakerholics as well. So wanted to go ahead and give a big shout out. Hopefully Joe will join us later on. He said he will try to make it in here. John Costa couldn't make it, but wanted to go ahead and send him some love. Lakers Corner. If you want to go ahead, make sure you like and subscribe. He put out his great shorts that already, as far as for the Lakers are concerned. So go ahead and give him some love as well. But catching up here before we get into it, as far as the Lakers are concerned, I wanted to go ahead and catch up on some of the comments that you guys had in the chat so far. So really appreciate it. JSJ says, at least we didn't end up like the Clippers. JSJ said, Gerald, your favorite player, Zubats, had the most points. No, that is incorrect. Don't tell me who my favorite player is. I do like Zubats a lot. He did have a good game. None of the rest of the Clippers did. But my favorite player is right above me, right here. And that would be Luka Doncic, who had almost a 43-point triple-double last night. But we'll get into that as far as the issues and concerns we have with the Lakers going forward. So yes, so please do not tell me who my favorite player is. Do not choose for me, and I will not choose for you. Otherwise, I will say your favorite player, Ivica Zubats, did pretty well tonight, but the rest of the Clippers didn't. So back on you, JSJ. But I know it's all good love, my friend. But yes, I am very high on Zubats, but yeah, I'm just happy to see him get off to a good start, especially because he is on one of my fantasy teams. And I'll leave it at that. I was very sad because I speaking of fantasy teams, got off to a decent start in the Lakers Fast Break League, but I got into several fantasy basketball teams this year because I really wanted to get one with Victor Wembanyama. Really wanted to. And I could not get into any of the drafts that I got into. I did not get number one. I was so disheartened. So I didn't have a chance to get Wembanyama in any of my drafts. I think I'm in like 8-9 teams, I think, because I just kept on going free. It's all free on ESPN. So it's like, I want to get Wembanyama. I want to get Wembanyama. I want to get Wemby. And it never happened for me. So that was kind of a bummer as well. Nibel says, speaking of Wembanyama, Wemby looks like the best player in the world. I've never seen someone dominate on both sides like MJ. He was doing Hakeem post moves, Garnett, and defense. He was making AD look childish. Oh, yes, Nibel. I will have some say on tonight's game. I did watch it extensively. Of all the games I was watching tonight, that's the one I watched the most. But I do have a little bit I want to interject with each and every game that was played tonight. So I wanted to give you kind of that. Plus, also, going forward, there's going to be some days on the show, on off days for the Lakers, or maybe even on Lakers days themselves when we do a post game. I might interject some of the around the league NBA action soon to get you guys caught up on the league and what's going on and what's trending as well. Because I want to get I know you guys don't all want non-Laker stuff, but I need to get you guys educated on what's going on around the league because, not only the fact that we don't know about the Lakers and how well they'll do this season, but also as well to get you guys caught up on what's going on. So Nibel says, Jokic, SGA, Lucas Giannis, get what you can because that guy is going to take over the league in no time. Nibel, I kind of agree with you. And I have some paraphernalia that I've got on ice, Victor Wembanyama related, that will only rise, which may be one of the few on the planet that has them. I mentioned on the show before. It's because I got a hard ticket, a hard copy of the ticket that Victor Wembanyama's first game as playing for the French team here in the United States, here in Henderson, when he played on that nationally televised game against the G League Ignite. And I have the ticket from that game because they were not giving out tickets. You were using your phone and scanning your phone in there. I asked for a hard copy, got it, and I may be one of the only one who does so. I've got it pressed right now, framed. I like to get it graded, so hopefully this, like I said, increases in value with Wemby right there. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing, my friend? I truly appreciate all the great comments that you give, and thank you for supporting me as far as all the NBA interviews I did. Thank you again for your support on that. Tough, what's going on? Likewise as well. Amazing to great to see you tonight. Yes, Tough. I thought it just come and wrap up your day with some Lakers thoughts and also, the excitement everybody has as far as the hoop heads. This is the hoop heads day because this is the opening day of the NBA really as far as, most of the teams playing tonight. So I really wanted to go ahead and share some thoughts on some, the games that were played tonight and hopefully you guys like that as well. John, what's going on? Hey, G, what about Wemby today? John, just an incredible performance. Again, I will go more into detail on that, but he just absolutely just looked like he was just toying with Dallas out there. And AD, what's the nicest way I can try and say this? AD looked old. He looked like it looked like AD back in 2013, 2014, 2015 is what AD was what Wemby looked like a little bit. He looked a little bit more, late invasive. He looked a little more athletic. The guy's 7'5". He looked a little more dominating, but AD dominated similar to what you saw tonight from Wembanyama back then. But this time, AD was dominated by Wembanyama. The whole front line, this vaunted, Monstars front line of just 7-footer after 7-footer in Dallas, and then starting everybody big. 6'8" Washington was the smallest guy in the starting lineup. You had Cooper Flagridge, point guard. Yeah, there's a lot of issues I want to cover, especially for that particular game. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about that as well. RD23, we learned Mark Williams would have been great for. He had 11 rebounds. Yeah, RD, but you notice he came off the bench, which I thought he was their starting center. So yeah, I mean, 5 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, the 11 rebounds obviously is a good sign to get started with that. So yeah, we'll see how it works out. But as is the theme, I was surprised how some of these coaches didn't do the obvious in starting some of the rookies or playing them a substantial amount. And Kaman Malawak, your 10th pick in the draft, did not play DMP. They just thought they would play I think Oso started at center or big man for the Phoenix Suns. So that was kind of surprising. That Tough said, yeah, look, the Clips slip. Yeah, Clips going to clip. Clips came in the season. They looked good to me as far as a roster, and they laid an egg tonight in Utah. So I definitely want to talk about that here coming up in a little bit. Jeremy said Wemby doing Wemby things. The anti-LeBron, yeah. Jeremy, he just looks sensational tonight. That's one of the best performances all around as far as from every aspect on both ends of the floor that I've seen in quite some time. It just absolutely looked fantastic. Jeremy says, can we discuss the pouting of LeBron? Yes. And we talked about a little bit about last night, Jeremy, as far as the just stoic look that he had. I know he was mentioned today earlier in practice that he was such a great help in the film session today with LeBron leading much of the video session for the Lakers in practice, which again, it accounts for something. But yeah, his last night, his stoic look with the glasses and all that, as you saw that I posted on the JPEG that I threw up there for tonight's show. Yeah, absolutely, indeed. You saw right there. Just again, did not seem very supportive as Lucas was scoring. He was just seemed very stoic. Just looked like he didn't want to be there last night. But it is a nice sign that he helped the Lakers and took the lead on the video formatting as far as the video meeting earlier today during practice. So that's at least a positive sign there. I don't know how much of one, but I'll let you determine that. Naba says Wemby trained with Hakeem, Bill Russell, Garnett, and with Allen Iverson. He was making AD look like a little girl. I think it's over for the league. Well, Nibel, I'm going to say this. I think top 5 is a possibility for Wemby for this year. But leading into next year, he might, if they find a couple more players, I think they need to trade De'Aaron Fox. I think Harper and I think Castle, despite whatever shootings issues that they might have, I think they should be their backcourt. I really think De'Aaron Fox is, they have now buyer's remorse for what they did and they traded. So I think they should trade him for some better forwards. And if they can find better forwards, watch out for San Antonio, either at late this year, but most likely next year. They will probably do that. But I would look to trade De'Aaron Fox like yesterday. They just don't need him. And I know it's just one game, but they need to develop that backcourt with Harper and Castle. I really think that that could be a really solid backcourt for the long-term future for them. Nibel says, my friend at the game said the Wemby is the greatest player he's ever seen. He's seen LeBron. Well, that's one game, Nibel. Okay, I want to go ahead and slow down on that, but it was truly a great performance. Jeremy says, yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. LA Lakers right there for you. Appreciate it, Jeremy. RD says Wemby was hanging out with monks in the mountains. Yes, don't forget the Shaolin Temple. He was at the Shaolin Temple for part of his rehabilitation from his blood clots. But first and foremost, blood clots are nothing to sneeze at. They're nothing to joke about. So I wish him and whoever is suffering from blood clots to try and hopefully have that alleviated, and hope that is now going to be a distant part of his life in the rearview mirror. So regardless of his career and what happens with everything else in that matter, I'm just wishing for good health for Victor Wembanyama going for over. Yes, RD says Wemby plus spiritual monks league takeover. Yes, just Wemby again. Kareem made the movie with Bruce Lee so long ago. With the Game of Death and all that. That famous scene between those two, and could we see something repeated like that at some point down the future with Victor Wembanyama? I would love to see that, indeed. Jeremy says, hey, Jerry, have you heard from Cooper? Yeah, he was on the show last night in the chat a little bit, but he was on our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break last night, Jeremy. He was on for a little while. He was in good spirits, and nobody tried to kill him. Joe didn't try to kill him. He was actually gloating about his Rams and saying that because Stan Kroenke owns the Rams, that he's now an Arsenal fan. He was telling Xbox that as well. Jalen, what's going on, my friend? What did you think about the Dallas game tonight? Yes. Again, Dallas is going to have issues. But I think for a growing pattern with Cooper Flag, Jalen, I think it's a good thing that they're throwing him out to the Wolves. It's going to look ugly. They're going to double team him. They're going to pressure him. They're going to pressure him to mistakes. They're going to try and have him try and shoot a lot from the outside. It's not going to look pretty at first, Jalen, but I think Cooper Flag will learn from this and grow as a player going forward. And I think he's going to be a very good player. But it's going to take a little time, as we saw. It's not going to happen all in one night. Today was kind of rough. There was a team, they had size, quickness defensively. They caused a lot of problems for Dallas. Dallas not using a true point guard as in their starting lineup. It's going to hurt them, but they're going to take their lumps. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it is going to look going forward. They will probably move D'Angelo at some point into the starting lineup, which is going to possibly take Klay Thompson out, which is going to take him off, or PJ Washington, who played well, who was the only Dallas Maverick, in my opinion, to really have a good game. And they're going to take him out of the lineup. If that's the case, that I think is a detriment to them. I think they should take Klay out of the lineup and forget about his ego at some point. Edwards, 42 points. You got to see him on Friday. Yeah, just another great game. Hopefully, again, I had a interview, Tough, as you know, as you probably watched 2 interviews on Minnesota, but the second one with the author of Ant, which was the Anthony Edwards, really deep introspective look at Anthony Edwards so far. He was expecting him to take that next leap. If you heard that conversation, it's available, by the way, you guys, on the YouTube channel and also on audio. So this is something where he needs to take a step up. He needs to be in that MVP consideration. They started Dante DiVincenzo at point guard. They announced just before the start of the game. And they said that's the good look they're going to have going forward. You notice that's going to be another, like Houston, like Dallas. They don't have a traditional point guard starting in their starting lineup. Point guards are at a premium all of a sudden. Point guards are a little bit hard to find. I mean, in fantasy basketball, point guards, a really good point guard was kind of hard to find if after the first 3 or 4 point guards once they came off the board. So it's going to be interesting to see how that looks out for Edwards. He has got to take that next step for Minnesota to compete in this tough Western Conference. And so far, the early returns are saying it's good. Dylan Brooks, defensive MVP this year. I don't think that's going to be the case, RD. But he did start off with a good game. But you got to remember, Jalen Green was not in there, so he got a lot of the shots that Jalen Green would normally get. Tough said Utah bounced the Clips by 21. Yes, they did. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a little bit. Jeremy said, Vari, that's fighting words. Vari, serious. Yes. Well, actually, you know what, Jeremy? Before you guys trash Vari, aka Sports Baby, know that he was doing it more likely to troll Mark. So, yes, he did have the Lakers as the last place in the Western Conference, but I think he was doing it more to troll Mark. So, yes, I'll just say that. Nibel says Wemby looks like the best player in the world. Yes, he did. I did watch the game, absolutely, and I'll have some thoughts on each of the games here coming up here in a bit as well. M Easy said VJ Edgecombe is legit. Yes. The biggest rookie performance, I think, since Wilt is what ESPN was correlating as far as points. He looked tremendous tonight. His shot was on. And yeah, as somebody, but I think we talked about Ace Bailey. We were talking about other players. And after that first summer league game, it kind of because they took him out. He stopped playing games, I think, shortly thereafter. But VJ Edgecombe, he looks like he's the real deal. And athleticism, he's in that starting lineup. They made a smart move in Philadelphia. Nick Nurse did by starting him and giving him an abundance of shots. And you noticed Embiid didn't do anything tonight, really, and they still won the game. If they can do that while Embiid is slowly getting back to health, if they can win games and be competitive, and VJ Edgecombe can be at a Rookie of the Year level, watch out for Philadelphia as far as that's concerned. No worries, JSJ. I'm just, no worries at all, my friend. Yeah, love to be a mod. Yeah, can you guys make Jeremy a mod if you guys want to? Yeah, that's fine. But for anybody that is going to be a mod, with that power comes great responsibility, as Stan Lee would say. And if you abuse it, I will take it away. You must do it for the right purposes. If you do it just because someone doesn't like your opinion on something, that's not good. Come on, guys. We can all disagree and have a gentlemanly type discussion. But if somebody starts calling out people and calling them names and saying offensive things, that's what mods are stepping in for. And there you go. Xbox says, World Twirls Joey. I said, can you make it? Last night he told me he was, he would try to make it. Tonight I messaged him and he said he doesn't know if he's going to be here. So that's the usual response I get these days as we get closer to show times during the week. Because he doesn't know. He always leaves me in suspense. So it's very hard to prepare. But then again, it's expected at this point for the Lakers Fast Break. But I'm glad you guys are here. Truly appreciate you joining us. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for joining us. I'm so glad to have you here as we go ahead and talk the Lakers here in a minute. I know you guys are talking about all the excitement of today's games. Looking forward to go ahead and breaking them down a little bit with you guys. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on what's going on with the Lakers. Absolutely, indeed. But I did want to start off again as we go into more of the comments here, and I'll try to blend them in as best I can. Jerry's like, VJ is winning the Rookie of the Year. Well, right now he's the leader of the clubhouse, but I'm going to say this before I forget. Guys, this rookie class is leagues, and I mean leagues above what we saw last year. This rookie class is so much better than last year's rookie class. And the thing is, next year's rookie class is supposed to be even better. I don't know. We're off to a good start. The only thing I would say I would question are the coaches that didn't start some of the higher ranked or didn't play in some cases, some of the higher ranked rookies, like, for instance, Ace Bailey in Utah. Yes, Utah won. And I love Svi. I love Svi Mihajlovic to death, but if you'd have asked me, Gerald, is your odds on Svi, or did you have Svi Mihajlovic as your starting guard in Utah on opening night? That would not have been on my bingo card, but it was happening tonight ahead of Ace Bailey, and they got the win out of it. Ace Bailey got some limited minutes, but I really think that kid needs to be given a lot of minutes and a lot of shots Utah, don't start drinking the Kool-Aid on Utah in a championship right now. It will probably even itself out, and Utah will probably go back to the means of where we think they're going to be. But yes, I would say Ace Bailey needs to play a lot of minutes and get a lot of touches and get a lot of points in order for them to develop going forward. But again, I will touch a little bit more of that here in a bit. AD is checked out according to Jeremy. Yeah, he doesn't look in great shape. He does look old. I'm gonna say he does look older. How about that? Older, not old, older. And he really got schooled by Wemby tonight. Yeah, he is carrying a little bit extra weight. But yes, RD, I know you're happy with Mark Williams getting 11 rebounds in 24 minutes. Yes, 5 points, but the fact he came off the bench for a guy that they traded specifically for, that was kind of weird how they had Oso in that starting lineup and Mark coming off the bench, and then didn't even play Kaman Malawach. I thought that was interesting. Yes, Lively struggled against Wemby. Yeah, all the big guys. And it's funny because as I kid my Dallas friends, for the Mavericks fans out there, like Frank and everybody else, what's up, Serge? How you doing, my friend? Just seeing you now. Just trying to catch up on the comments. Oh, and I got to catch up. Yeah, and Westbrook, yes. Westbrook is a issue in and of itself. Yeah, I know he's getting back in shape and all that, but yeah, you want Westbrook, you got Westbrook. Be prepared for the ride, Sacramento. But getting back to what you guys are saying on Dallas, yeah, when it comes right down to it, Dwight Powell, he is and I say this in a nice way to him, so to speak. He's a cockroach, as I mentioned. He was the cockroach of Dallas because, just years he's there. He's there. He survives. You don't know how he survives and keeps landing himself a place on the team, but he still does so. And he's getting key minutes tonight with all the 7-footers that they have. They have 3 7-footers ahead of him, and he still gets an abundance of minutes against Wembanyama. And you saw what happened there. Recipe for disaster right there before you. But it is a Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Concussion for Caruso. I heard about that. I'm sorry to hear that. Again, hopefully he'll be back soon. JSJ said Fox for Reeves. No, I would not trade Fox for Reeves. Fox does not help you when you've got one of the best point guards in the league, JSJ. I know that Fox would help with the transition and quickness part of it, but for someone who has such great quickness, he doesn't really he's not really noted for his man-to-man defense. I really think that we need to pair up a Herb Jones defensive style guard, taller, long arms, athletic, or Trey Murphy. If we got Trey Murphy in there, he did okay tonight, but if we got a Trey Murphy type guard, 6'8", can guard multiple positions and quickness, young, and then can still hit the three. That's what I would be looking for as well. Kareem was also airline pilot. Yes, he was. Yes. Love that blood. Love that movie. Absolutely, indeed. One of my favorite Zucker's films, of course, but Airplane is, but I think, First Naked Gun, Police Squad is so underrated, and I'll just leave it at that. We lost Cousin Cool, bro. You guys are crazy. Jay said, according to Kareem, that wasn't him as a pilot. Okay. Jeremy says, Jerry, can we discuss how our team looks like Luka? Yes. That's what we're going to discuss here in a few minutes. I will get to it. RD23 says, what is everybody's honest opinion about the Suns after today's game? Feel good seeing Bradley Beal gone from Suns, 5 points on the Clippers. I'm just going to say this. I mean, they were playing Sacramento, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. Sacramento and Phoenix, I think, are very evenly matched teams, i.e. they're both probably, at best, play-in level teams. There are depth issues with both of those teams. But again, I just was puzzled why Oso Ighodaro was the center, the big man tonight for Phoenix, and not starting Mark Williams or even Nick Richards, for that matter, who scored 8 points in 5 minutes. And then you don't even have your 7-footer that you brought in, he was just sitting there on the bench. Same thing with Vari's favorite, Jordan Goodwin, as well. So yeah, just very strange how Phoenix played out, but they got the win. But they are very evenly matched with Sacramento, and I think you saw a reflection in that game tonight. Sacramento relied heavily on LaVine and DeRozan. So yeah, that's something that obviously we got to see. But both teams are not very good defensively, but pretty solid offensively. So we'll see what happens. RD said shortest guy in the Rockets starting lineup was Thompson at 6'7". Yeah, and again, Thompson was 0 for 7 from 3. That essentially was the difference in the game. OKC did not have Williams in their side as well, to be fair. But yeah, Amen Thompson. Yeah, I mean, laugh at him now, but if he develops a jump shot by the end of the year, a more consistent jump shot, he could be one of the best players, better players in the league. He already is a really solid defender. I know SGA cooked him a little bit, but SGA is going to cook a lot of people. But he can still play really good defense at times. And the fact that he is doing all these other things to help his game grow now that Van Vliet is out, we're going to see. We're going to see how that looks, indeed. Kurt Affair says, "What's up, my friend Kurt? Just checking it out now. Nick Nurse doesn't normally trust rookies. Hope Edgecombe is a real deal." Yeah, I think he's desperate, Kurt. I think this is a year where if he does not do well, he probably will not have long life expectancy as the coach of the 76ers if he is not competitive in the Eastern Conference. And Bloodhound says McCain isn't even back yet. Yeah, but they got the win. And that was without, like you said, McCain and also as well Embiid not doing a whole lot for them as of yet. So I'm interested to see how Embiid gets back into shape. And if he gives you 60, 65 games, what that will look like. Truly, Tony, what's going on, my friend? It's only one game, but this game showed me a lot. It could be a sign of more things to come. Yeah, it could. And I'll be going out doing the here in a few minutes. Just wanted to catch up here on the chat. You guys are really just going on it tonight. Rob Moreno, how you doing? Welcome. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe. It wasn't the best start. A lot of our guys had a bad game. Golden State really good as far as they're concerned. They basically lost because they had a bad third quarter. Yeah, that's something that, again, has happened for several years with the Lakers. Third quarters have been an issue. The Warriors were great in the third quarter, but also the defense was very poor at times, Rob, and the fouling. Defense without fouling is a key. If you can play hard defense without fouling, and the Lakers could not do that, as we saw 24 out of 24 from the free throw line for both, or for combined 24-24 from Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler, 16 out of 16. Indeed, that, you got to tip your hat when somebody's hitting 16 from the free throw line. You got to say, you know what, today's your day. Today's your day, and there you go. Jeremy says, Jerry, thoughts on Bryce being helped into the league by his dad? He seems better than Bronny. Again, I want to see more action from it through entire season at Arizona before I go that far into it. I thought initially he was better, Jeremy, than Bronny. He seemed to me like he was going to be a better player. He's a little taller than Bronny. He's still not a top recruit. Neither of them is. I know that Bronny moved eventually into the top 25 on some college basketball or high school college basketball, thoughts as far as top 25 recruits coming into college. But for the most part, he was in like around the 40-50 range. Bryce is right around that range too. I think he is a little tiny bit better, a little bit more well-rounded from what I saw personally. But Stones Hansen, our draft guru, says no. And again, we'll have to wait and see how it looks in Arizona. Of course, the USC season for Bronny was a kind of a missed opportunity because the fact that, he had the heart issue. And when he came back, just 5 points a game. So, really just getting his life back in order after he almost died and perished. And again, we're hard on Bronny here. We are very hard on Bronny on this channel. I'm not going to dissuade from that. I'm not going to distance myself from that as a player, but as an individual, I'm only wishing him continued life success and a long and happy life for him and his future family. So that's, again, nothing against personal attacks against him as an individual. When Joe goes off on the expletive-laden the tirades against him, it's not on the individual itself. It's on the player and the fact that he probably if his name was Joe Smith, for it's not the Joe Smith, mind you, but a Joe Smith or John Doe. If his name was John Doe, he would probably not be in the league at this point in time. And I'll just leave it at that. And by the way, guys, did you see who started the game tonight in New York, replacing the injured, as far as their center position, Mike Thompson, not Thompson, as far as, who was out tonight for the New York Knicks. So I will just say this. Ariel Hukporti was the starting center for the New York Knicks tonight, in case of Mitchell, in replacing Mitchell Robinson. And yeah, it noted he didn't do much tonight, but the fact that he's starting in the opening game of the season for the Knicks, and he was picked after Bronny. Again, I told you I would keep an eye on that. Just leaving that for sure. RD says, my girlfriend is applying a hair mask to her hair right now in the sink. Let's see how this goes. Thank you again for the girlfriend update on that, RD. Truly appreciate it. Sports Baby, what's up, my friend? Your Lakers pick has gotten everybody talking. I will just say that, but always great to have you here, my friend. Again, big shout out to Vari, aka Sports Baby, because he does so much behind the scenes for the playback channels for myself and gives you guys a whole bunch of extra games. I believe he was actually showing something on there tonight. And then also as well, Joe's channel, the Joe Soro Experiment as well. So as much we'd like to go ahead and kid Vari, yes, we do have much appreciation for what he does behind the scenes for us right there on playback. And again, catch the game with us on Friday night for playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And you never know, Vari might pop up a game from there time to time. So if you're following playback and you want to see some games and whatnot, we may just be able to show them for you during the regular season. Xbox says, Gerald, can we ban Vari for you? You two are just really going at it, my friend. Serge, great to have you here. I'm sorry you have to deal with those two awesome Australians going after each other, but that's it. That's a deal. JY says Cooper Flag and Amen are not point guards. No, not by traditional nature, JY. Cooper Flag, as you saw tonight, is not a point guard. He is someone who has a lot of skills as a playmaker by necessity with Kyrie Irving out of the lineup, and they're not 100% convinced D'Angelo Russell is still a NBA starting level point guard. Probably necessitated what they want. And then Amen Thompson, same thing. Van Vliet out of the lineup. You're forced to put your small forward, who is a great secondary playmaker, kind of like when Austin Reeves was asked to make, before Luka came in here, when Austin Reeves was asked to go ahead and take over the point guard spot. It isn't the best fit for Cooper Flag and Amen at this point in time in their careers. It may be down the line, JY, but right now it's not the best of fits, but both are still utilizing their skills. You can see tonight at times Cooper Flag, the way he can distribute the ball is definitely at a high level. I just think they're better suited to play a little bit more off the ball as of now. Now that may evolve and change by the end of the season because they're both young, they're both growing, and they're going to have a lot of time to handle the ball. So we'll wait and see what happens, JY, on that. Sports you guys are crazy. Kurt Affair, Bronny for most improved player, says Kurt Affair. RD says Bronny for sixth man of the year. Okay. Jay says most incompetent player. I don't want to put it that far, but he is someone that, again, if his name was John Doe, he would not be in the league right now. Xbox says Gerald's high. Yes, Xbox, we do have a lot of marijuana stores because marijuana is legal to purchase here in the state of Nevada, and there are plenty of marijuana stores in Las Vegas. In fact, yesterday I was noting to my wife and to my daughter that we drove by two places just straight down, just going down the road, and you could smell two certain areas right there where it's just for like 2-3 minutes, you just smell nothing but marijuana. But no, I don't partake. It's too expensive a habit, and I don't like to inhale as far as smoke anything. As far as it's concerned, my father, as I've told you on this show before, died of COPD. It's just smoking related causes. He smoked too much, and it got the better of him. Love my dad to death. God bless his soul. But yeah, I do not willingly want to take in stuff like that for me. Plus, as Kurt knows, and as Search knows, I lived in LA for the first 25 years of my life and spent a lot of time on those freeways and inhaled a lot of tailpipes going downtown, especially when I was working in Hollywood in the movie industry, in the special effects company. I had to go to downtown every day. And yeah, that's a lot of ingesting of smog out there. And you know, there's a little bit of traffic here. There's a little bit of spots. It's nothing like LA here in Las Vegas. But there are some congestion. One like today earlier today was some congestion and whatnot. But yeah, I already have enough. I'm breathing in that already is doing bad for me. I don't need to have a cigar, cigarette, vape, joint, or anything else going in because you know I've already taken a lot of bad stuff just in the air. Indeed, Search and Destroy. Yeah, tons of smog when me and Joe. Yeah, exactly. Search because we didn't care. They didn't care in the '80s. They didn't care when I first started driving. Search in the mid '80s. They did not give a dang. People were just yeah. You would see the LA skyline and it was brown. It was just a thick layer of brown for smog there, people. It's a little better there now, but yeah, it was bad. Yes, Search knows what I'm talking about when I say that. JSJ said, "Time to buy some marijuana in Nevada." Yeah, it's all weird because you know, one of my friends, one of my close friends, he partakes every day in some marijuana. So as a Christmas gift, I did go to a store because I wanted to see how you do it as far as how you purchase marijuana. So I did. Wanted to buy him a gift card. So I went in their store, and it's so weird how they do it because they're trying to avoid taxation, whether it's local or federal. I don't know what they were trying, you know, which tax they were trying to avoid specifically, but they ask you to get it directly out of your bank. It's for use it. It was just it gives you that, or it gave me that feeling. Yeah, it just you know the fact I had to smell it, you know, throughout the store was one thing, but then I had to just the purchasing process, you know, was just it felt yeah, and this was a major store, one of the largest marijuana stores in all of Las Vegas. So that just tells you all I think you need to know about that. But Joe and Laker Tom could probably tell you more about their time and dealings in marijuana farms because they have both partaken as far as purchasing, and they've said this on the show. So I'm not telling anything that they don't haven't already told you. But yeah, they've partaken more into the marijuana trade as far as industry than I have. JSJ said, Gerald, thoughts on Jey Uso for CM Punk? I would have liked. I really would like to see LA Knight get a shot, get a title run. I think CM Punk should win the title at a WrestleMania. Personally, I really think that would be a capper off his career. I think there would be a really great interest story for him to do that. Probably his final run as a champion for a year. They're doing this out of necessity because of what happened with the real life injury to Seth Rollins. He did not fake it, guys, because if you saw the way he landed on his shoulder, I separated his shoulder in much the same fashion as he did while not doing as Kurt call me out on this for a top rope and rope to rope end to end headbutt. I didn't do that, but I was playing volleyball and I landed we trying to brace myself with my hand, and it just the torque that goes into your shoulder when you do that, land on the ground with one hand like that, it'll just rip it to shreds. And he did have legit surgery. I think that, you know, and obviously the pushing of Braun Breaker is something that they're going to do, and I think he's a great talent. I just call him Braun Steiner. I don't understand why they're doing this still Braun Breaker crap. This Braun Steiner. They already acknowledged his dad Steiner is Rick Steiner. They already acknowledged his uncle's Scotty Steiner. So yeah, just let's make him a Steiner. But anyways, I would have given LA Knight a small run with it. I just think he it's a testament of what you can do. And you have a Monday title and a Friday title anyways. Make it a little bit more fun. It just would have been nice to see LA Knight get a chance, but that's just me. Marijuana fast break, JSJ says. Yep, there you go indeed. Trayvon, what's going on, my friend? In Colorado, I see vending machines with again, it's just a part. at this point, there's enough states to it. Okay, I understand if you're against it. I respect your decision. I don't partake, but if you legalize it, just legalize it. Just make it across the board. I mean, we legalize alcohol, we legalize cigarettes, and just treat it like it is as far as I'm concerned. Treat it like you do alcohol, in every aspect of it, both as far as if someone's under the influence or whatnot, and all that. Just that's what I would say. It's just at this point, there's so many states that have legalized it. Just legalize it across the board and be done with it. Jeremy says Steiner had that frontal double biceps from hell. Still scares me. Don't ask him to do math, Jeremy, because then he'll perplex all of us on that. That promo is one of the all-time great promos ever in professional wrestling. It's the Steiner math promo. And yeah, it's for obvious reasons. I just love the look on Petey Williams' face as he's doing it. It's like, what the hell is this guy saying? When he went into his arithmetic on it, because they had no idea what he was going to say. I don't think that Scott Steiner knew what he was going to say as he was saying it. So that's what made that so brilliant. Yes, big Papa Pump indeed. But let's get into the Lakers last night before we get into some of the games here. I wanted to go ahead and talk about a little bit about the Lakers. Again, 50 minutes in, a little bit later than I thought, but you guys have just been great in the chat. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me. It is Gerald Glassford, a snack pack for you indeed. I do want to go ahead and say, yeah, last night was a disappointment as the Lakers lost by 10. Luka with a 43-point almost triple-double, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, if I remember correctly. Austin Reeves, he got into foul trouble in that third quarter, got his fifth foul. I mean, playing defense for him last night was problematic because, again, quite often caught with either Curry or Butler, and him and Marcus Smart had a tendency to foul. I think they both had 9 fouls between them. And that was disappointing to see because it sent them to the free throw line. And you saw how effective they were. 24 out of 24. That's the game right there, guys. 24 out of 24. I know Joe talked about the other aspects of the game that were part of the reason why the Lakers lost, but 24 out of 24 from the free throw line. You will lose virtually every time if that happens to you between two guys on Golden State. Kuminga gave them a solid game. Podziemski played a solid game as well. Healed, shot well from 3, and really helped them out. But again, the fact that the Lakers, just their depth, I think you guys got a good look at their lack of depth issues. And I was worried about that. I told you coming into the season that I think the additions of Smart and LaRavia would help, but that they still had a lot of issues. Jared Vanderbilt, I mean, I know that No Choker, bless his heart, is still on Vando Hill. I know that there's still others on Vando Hill. But yeah, I mean, all that action we saw in the preseason about how more athletic he is, he does look looser. He does look better as far as physically, but he's still a nothing on offense. And I was joking with the Lakerholics today when we were setting up for Saturday 11. And I said, one of the things we can speculate on is when Vanderbilt will actually hit a shot. Will it be before Amen Thompson hits a 3 or after? You make up your mind on that one. But all kidding aside, that's a real problem. Vanderbilt gives you absolutely nothing on the offensive end, and it's regressed. And I don't know, one of these days I might talk about on a show, or might dedicate a show to the worst decisions that Rob Pelinka has given over the course of his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. And I know that somebody in the chat last night, he mistakenly was going back and forth with me. And this is nothing ill-intended or whatnot, but he was talking about how Magic led them to the title. Magic had already left. He had already left. He had already had his press conference in front of everybody that talked about how Rob Pelinka stabbed in the back and whatnot. Rob Pelinka should get a lot of credit for the 2020 title, but what he has done since then, as far as the mistakes that have been made, one of these days I want to dedicate a show, if I can remember, to go ahead and talk about that. And if extending Jared Vanderbilt was one of those things, because we questioned it at the time because we knew he was having issues. We knew he was having injury issues when he signed that extension, which was very concerning. And I just, again, it's about seeing the forest from the trees. And I don't think Rob always sees the forest from the trees as far as his player evaluations are concerned. We're seeing right now some issues with some of the decisions that he's making, the lack of depth. I know as much everybody liked Dalton Connect or whatnot, but he didn't even play last night. So he gives you nothing. In his second year, he should be taking that next step. And he's not even, doesn't even have the confidence of JJ enough to even get into the ball game last night, even to a game where the Lakers needed some help from the outside and still did not get anything there. DeAndre Ayton, early first returns. It just still looks like he's not on the same page with Luka. Luka, even in the preseason, 9 assists tonight, 9 assists last night. That's great, but it's still his lobs. I don't know. I thought he would just be automatic with those lobs right away, especially with the 7-footers that he had in Dallas. It just seems like he's still not there yet in sync with any of the Lakers. Jared Vanderbilt, he had a I know a lot of people were hard on Jared Vanderbilt for that lob miss that he fumbled, but it just wasn't in the right place either. So I think it was take 2 on that one on both sides as far as fault on that one. But him and Ayton just didn't seem to really be on the same page yet. There were some lobs that just didn't quite work out with Ayton. And then also as well, just Ayton just look passive and timid. And you can't do that. You cannot look like that. And as Ayton's motor, just getting back on defense. Again, something I've stressed time and time again is the transition defense. And Lakers are one of the poorest teams in transition defense, and it showed its rear ugly head last night. I was kind of disappointed on that. And again, just no support. Rui, I really thought Rui with LeBron out was going to get a lot more touches and a lot more opportunities to shoot and score. But last night he just was a token 3-point attempt shooter, and it was kind of pedestrian. It's one of those, goes back to the days where we talked about the lack of consistency with Rui Hachimura and where he would show up one night and not show up the next. I hope it doesn't revert back to that, especially because the fact that a lot of money is riding on the line for him as well. So I really think this is his opportunity to go ahead and take advantage of it with LeBron out of the lineup. And he didn't take that, him and Ayton didn't take advantage of that last night. I also think putting Gabe Vincent, we talked about this before, kind of questioned why Gabe Vincent was in that starting lineup. I understand because he was hot in the preseason and you wanted to continue that. But if you've watched the league as long as I have, and I know that Serge and Kurt could probably back me up on this as well, the preseason seems to sometimes, what happens in those days in between the preseason ending and the regular season start, something seems to happen to players on occasion where they're just sizzling hot in the preseason, and then it just, like cold water, you just turned off, and it just turns off, and it just, the regular season starts and they're just cold as ice. Same thing goes the other way. People struggle in the preseason, and all of a sudden they just blow up once the regular season starts. It just seems like a lot of times that happens. And for a guy that again, we don't know where his career is headed. Veteran that he is a hot and cold player. He is a very streaky player. We saw that lights came on in the starting lineup, and it just didn't look good for Gabe Vincent last night. Jake LaRavia, maybe it was opening night jitters for him now that he's got a place with the Lakers, maybe for the next 2 years. Again, it didn't look great for him as well. Again, just the lack of support from this team. It shows that there's a lot of issues. And again, I talked about in my predictions why I put some teams over the others was because of depth. Why did I have the Lakers in 5th place? Because of depth issues. And I don't know if maybe even the 5th place is even a little bit high. I don't know. At this point, you don't want to go and overreact over one loss too much, but I really am concerned that the lack of depth, especially with LeBron being out, just makes everything so much harder for Luka. And you cannot continue to play Luka 41 minutes. That's That's not very good coaching on the part by JJ Redick. Not only the fact that he, and I know that Joe says, "Oh, it's great to have Marcus Smart out there for four fouls," but we need the aggressive. Yes, we need aggressiveness, but when he's already in foul trouble and it in the first half, four fouls, it makes it harder for him to play that same kind of aggressiveness in the second half, and then also as well keeping Austin Reaves out there once he got his fourth foul, and then he got his fifth foul right afterwards in the third quarter, and that was just not wise because then you had to send him out for a stretch. He did come back in the fourth quarter and produce, but it was too little, too late by that time because that third quarter you need more support. You need to get this team focused. Something that the Lakers do at halftime, not just in the JJ era, but the Ham era and beyond. Something about the third quarter is just not right. And as a coaching staff, you have to try and figure it out. RD says, "Who do you consider one dimensional?" Well, Vando, for instance, Vando's one dimensional. He just is absolutely a nothing burger right now on the offensive end. It is really a hindrance. Him fumbling passes away, not the lob per se. I'm not going to put all of that on him, but there was just him trying to handle it, trying to go one on one with people. He is just not a good offensive basketball. He's not even an average. He's not even a bad offensive basketball player. He's just a terrible he is like one of the worst offensive players right now in the game in the NBA. He looked like it last night. And he has to get it seems like he has regressed as a player offensively since his days in Minnesota, and that should be a big concern if you're a member of the Lakers. He has to start hitting shots if he wants to stay out there because he can still play acceptable defense at times. He can still wreak havoc with his hustle and energy at times. He still, with his 6'8" slender frame, can still guard or cause problems on the defensive end. But if he's so inept offensively, it just becomes a problem for that. I mean, even in the dunker spot, if Luka cannot trust him in the dunker spot when he draws the defense toward him and he can't pass, it just makes it so much harder for Luka. And you saw last night, they're double teaming Luka. They're trying to get the ball out of his hand. They want to get the ball out of his hands because, when it's not in his hands, the team does not gel offensively as yet. And even with Luka last night, it seemed like it had to come down to Luka dominating the ball in order for the Lakers to generate that kind of offense. And then last but not least, when it comes to what I saw, the Lakers have to go more up tempo. You know what? I know that Luka Doncic has always been the bring the ball guy up the floor, and pace has always been something that has been talked about in Dallas as far as him not wanting to pick up the pace. But that has to change. The Lakers have to find a way to find easier opportunities to score the basketball, either when LeBron comes back or if he's out. Doesn't matter. You need to find ways to score, easier opportunities in the transition. If people are just like destroying you on the fast break, and last night, Golden State won the fast break battle and fast break points. It does not help you out. You need to find easy points during the course of the game, and if you can only find 6 of them, that's disappointing. JSJ said Gerald was extending JJ and Rob about. Oh, absolutely, JSJ. We said at the time, we kind of questioned it. Like, 1 year for JJ. Did we see all that we wanted to see about JJ to convince us to pop another 2 years? And with Rob, same thing. Did we see all that we want to see? I mean, they got ousted in 5 games in the first round, and you reward that with the extra years for Rob and JJ. We know why, JSJ. Let's not patronize anything in this conversation. We know why they got extra years. It's a golden parachute, because if the Lakers play like this and continue to play like this, JJ and Rob will be gone. Mark Walter, if you're spending $10 to $12 billion a team and you're not getting it done, he's going to get his guys in here. He's going to get the people he wants in here. I know Joe talked about it himself. If Sam Presti's available and I was Mark Walter, I would back up the Brinks trade. Even if he's not available, I would say here, triple what you're making in OKC. Rob, get the hell on out. And you know what? You're going to eat the cost. If you're spending 10 to 12 billion dollars on the Los Angeles Lakers, you and whoever partners that you have, then I'll tell you what, you are not going to really care too much about how many years that you have. And again, in Phoenix, we saw the same thing there as far as their owner, Matt Ishbia. He brings in Vogel, fires him after a year. He's got lots of years. We talked about it last night. He's got still a lot of years left on his contract. Or he's now being paid several years by the Phoenix Suns to be an assistant coach on the Dallas Mavericks. And Budenholzer, he came in, also a champion head coach. He got fired after 1 year. He is being paid for several years to go play golf. So there you have it. And again, it was a mistake to extend him, but it was Jeanie's call to do this because she's still in charge. She's still the president. And, you know, maybe Mark Walter gave the blessing. Maybe he didn't, but it didn't matter because she was patting the rest. I'm sure she took care of the Ramby as well. You know, everybody involved. You know, you heard about the organization that the bus kids are, but I'm sure the bus kids were also. They're all being pat. They're all getting their golden parachutes on the way out. If they don't produce, doesn't matter. They all will have their golden parachutes. So don't feel sorry for any of them if one or many of them are let go at the end of the season if it does not go too well. Nick T says Luka is too slow. Well, it's just the pace issue. Nick T, I just think they need to up the pace. He needs to put that pass forward. As soon as he gets that ball and rebound, he had 12 rebounds last night. He needs to get that ball, send it out right away. Send it out to somebody that's streaking right away. Look up. You know, that's the first thing I was taught when I was get the rebound and had the ball and I dribbled it out. I was taught to look up and look out for somebody that might be on the way towards the basket already on the other side of the court. And I was really, really hoping that we could see an increased pace. More exciting basketball. Obviously, it's better for the fans to watch as far as I'm concerned, but it also creates easier points in the offense, and that's something that I do want to see more of. Search and Destroy, Empire Jeff TV, obviously covering the Lakers and Dodgers. Big shout out to him. Legend 350 at I Got Next Sports Media. Shout out to him as well. He's done some videos recently, so go ahead and check it out. I Got Next Sports Media on YouTube, and of course, Empire Jeff TV covering the Dodgers as well. But yeah, great to have you here, guys. Truly appreciate it. I'll go ahead and cover the games here in a second. I want to go ahead and catch up on some chats. Search, yep, absolutely. JJ won't last his contract. I don't think so. If he continues this rate, JSJ, he has to win. You know, it's all again, it's all about results. So if the results don't match, I don't think that the Mark Walter, the new regime who comes in, will go ahead and keep. Especially if Rob's gone, JJ will be gone as well. Johnny said Austin Reeves got his stats in garbage time against the Warriors win this game. Yeah, Johnny, again, you know, he got it. He was struggling the first half, got into foul trouble. JJ kept him out there in the third quarter too long, got him his fifth foul. By the time he came back, you know, he padded his stats, 26 and 9 assists, which looks great on the scoreboard, but looks great in the box, but, you know, as box score. But you and I both know exactly when he got those points and that this game was already decided. Kurt Affair says, Gerald, what role player from the early 2000s Lakers would you take that could improve this current team? That is a good question. Boy, I would love an Eddie Jones type player right now. I know it's just a little bit before then, but I would love an Eddie Jones type player to come in, you know, 6'6", shooting guard, can play really good defense, and could also hit the shot from the outside. That's probably a player that we need, plus athleticism as well. I mean, obviously, it wasn't at Kobe's level, which was obviously the reason why they shipped him out. But that's probably the closest thing I could say to it right now off the top of my head. But that's a really, really good question, Kurt. That's a really good question. because the Lakers didn't have great role players that run. They had very memorable role players, but I don't think Sasha Vujacic is the guy that you would have in mind right now, as far as is concerned. But Rick Fox, he played at a certain level of toughness, which obviously is needed for the Lakers right now. But would he be able to keep up with today's game? Would he be able to shoot outside well enough and defend at a high level for today's game? You'd have to say that. But I would probably say Eddie Jones would be the type of player. And Luke Loodles, my daddy, great to have you here. He said Luke Walton, a guy who could do a little bit of everything, absolutely, and gave you a great hustle. Just don't ask him to coach. I'll just say that. Kurt, I love Luke, but yeah, watching him coach was not the greatest experience in the world. He got roasted, but I wish him the best. I believe he's on the Detroit Pistons coaching staff at this point in time. Kurt Affair, Robert Horry. Robert Horry, yes and no. I know that was my instant thought as far as concerned. Robert Horry, because he's 6'9", can interchangeable between, you can play him at different positions. It didn't always seem like he gave his greatest effort during the season. He was more a postseason type of player, but the skills, you could see what the skills he could bring. He could shoot out from long distance. He could guard effectively, could block shots, long arms, had athleticism. But I just don't feel like his motor was always running at 100 during the regular season. I'll just leave it at that. But how can you fault Robert Horry? He's got the rings. At the end of the day, he's got the rings, the layer of success, and what he's done is one of the greatest postseason clutch players of all time. Yes, I say that, one of the greatest, because it's right there. He's got the rings to prove it. How can you doubt him on that? I think T said Luka need to play off ball a little bit because his teammates are too dependent. I would agree with you, Nick. Play off ball a little bit more. But again, it's all about him dribbling and walking the ball up the court. That has got to be lessened. Push that ball up the court. Push the ball. Force the defense to not be set, to make irrational decisions, to not be set, to have easier opportunities at the basket by getting into your offense a lot sooner. That has to happen indeed. Legend is such a top bloke. He knows how to do. Yep. You know what? Again, Legend is such a great person to have on this show. And again, like Vari, not a Lakers fan, but he's a regular part of what we do. And the guy is class. He comes in here, gives you insight, and absolutely just got nothing but the greatest things to say about Legend and I got Next Sports Media. But the thing, he comes in here and says things and he doesn't rub it in. He could have easily gloated and rubbed it in. He could have easily gone on the bandwagon like some have in the past couple of weeks and said, oh yeah, Warriors with the addition of Horford and now a full year with Butler, they're going to go all the way, or they're going to be real hot. Even he has his doubts, but he was impressed with what happened with Golden State and how they looked last night. But he was also realistic in his thoughts on them. He thinks they're going to be good, but he's not sure because of the age. He's hesitant to go all in because of the age on the team. I really respect his opinion. I just think he's a guy with a lot of class that comes on the show, and truly appreciate his insight every time that he comes on here. Serge says Eddie Jones is awesome, but yeah, I think that's what I was thinking. But Kurt, that was an outstanding question. I just have to would say Eddie Jones is the type of player that could maybe change the dynamic a little bit better for the Lakers team. More athleticism. I know that's something that you guys have pointed out in the chat. More athleticism is needed on this team. Just because we're a younger team doesn't mean we're really an athletic team, as we see. Like, for instance, Houston and OKC last night. Showed a lot of athleticism there. San Antonio didn't have De'Aaron Fox in the lineup as far as his speed. Didn't matter. Stephon Castle and Harper, Dylan Harper. I am telling you, right, San Antonio. I wish Megan Price, who did our preview with us, she was kind of hesitant to really go all in with the young guys right away. I'm just saying, if I was Mitch Johnson, I would tell my GM, move on from De'Aaron Fox. Again, if you only get for 42, 43 wins, 45 wins, so be it. Let those two be the backcourt of your future going forward. I really think that is the wisest decision to go. De'Aaron Fox seems like that piece. You're going to have to start him because he's the former All-Star, et cetera, et cetera. He's probably going to score 22 for you guys, and and the team might be better with him in the short term. I just think it's an ill fit with all three of them because they all have shooting issues. I just think as well, just that you saw tonight, Dylan Harper come in there. The guy, he is not scared. He didn't care. He didn't care who he went in there against. He drive, and it's a learning process for him. And you saw Stephon Castle. He looks more well-rounded in his second year of playing after being the rookie of the year. I really think they should start those two going forward and trade De'Aaron Fox like yesterday. Let him develop, let him play somewhere else on that big contract. Again, bring in a couple of forwards because Harrison Barnes at this age, at this stage of his career, it's just you're not going to win at a high enough level with Harrison Barnes as your starting power forward. And then they had also as well. Did they have Johnson? I forget who they because I would have started Cornette first off as far as the concern because Cornette and Wemby. If you guys saw that tonight when they showed little teasers of both of them in there at the same time was kind of wreaking havoc, block shots for San Antonio. So it was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, Wembanyama on a national stage reminded you in his third year why he is already one of the greatest players in NBA right now. Kurt Fair says, as Boston Hopkins would say, Rick Fox with his movie star good looks. Absolutely, yeah, with movie star good looks. I just would say it would be Eddie Jones. Nick Van Exel. Nick Van Exel, yes. Unafraid, Eric. By the way, Eric, at the beginning of the show, I did pop in your predictions, and I truly appreciate you sending them in, by the way. Nick Van Exel as a shooting, but he would probably be more still as on this team, especially with Luka as a sixth man coming off the bench. And I think Nick Van Exel played better than where obviously he was drafted, second round draft choice out of Cincinnati. I really think that Nick Van Exel deserved to have played as continuously as a starter in this league throughout. I really think he was very underrated throughout his entire career. No, Luka looks so good in the Lakers. Yes, he did, especially scoring 43 points last night. Kurt says, how does everybody like the return of the NBA on NBC? And I like the fact, Kurt, I know, hear me out, guys. I understand it's as a cost issue. It's not great because you now have to go to NBC, Peacock, ESPN, ABC, Prime Video, NBA TV, and all that stuff. I'm just going to say this. I like the fact that it is available to a lot of different audiences now. Whether or not you guys want to catch all the games, that's up to you. But 200 million people have Prime Video anyway, so it's just an added bonus for me who has to use it anyways because I buy a lot of stuff on Prime, Amazon Prime, like many of you do. So it's just fine for me there. But I'd like the fact that you're seeing a lot of different looks returning the NBA to NBC. I think some of the announcers, Jamal Crawford, I thought was not the greatest of starts. Reggie Miller's Reggie Miller. I think they need better voices on the NBA's and NBC front in some cases, both as far as the analyst and as far as the some of the as far as Jamal Crawford's. I don't know if he's really personable enough yet or really comfortable enough yet in this role. We'll have to wait and see. But it was all right for the NBA and NBC return. I think I've expected something bigger, more grander, but it was nice having John Tisch back and Michael Jordan. I was hoping Michael Jordan would come up instead of saying, I want to give the game, for the guys down the road and, pass on what I love and whatnot. It would have been nice. And then also him saying that he would have loved he would give anything to be back on the court right now in today's age. Would have been nice. Would have been nice to see him just rip on some of the guys today. That would have been kind of cool because Charles Barkley, he'll do it. And it's a little weird to see the guys, as far as inside the NBA now on ESPN's hearing the same theme song, whatnot. But they did want, they paid a lot of money. ESPN did and Disney did to acquire the rights to them and the whole studio and the whole 9 yards and acquiesce to their demands and whatnot. I mean, it's going to be inside the NBA. It essentially is inside the NBA. So, if you guys are very, inside the NBA has won a ton of Emmys and it's been one of the best. It has been the best and the standard for all sports as far as intro shows and halftime shows are concerned. In any sport, NFL, baseball, they none of them have come close to it. That personable feeling and whatnot. So when they get into doing their shtick, that's the part people love the best, and they've got this down pat. Obviously, we saw it tonight. It's like old hat to them now. The entire production team that they brought back, this is like absolutely nothing. So it's good. It's really good. It's just like it's like that warm, comfortable pillow that that's out there that you're so used to. It's a good, safe feeling to have the guys from inside the NBA on ESPN. And NBA AMC, I think, got a lot to learn. I know that Amazon Prime, a lot of people are curious about how they're going to cover their regular league as far as that's concerned. So I'll be noting that on the show. I know Mark Stein was just added. I think today they just announced him as a late add-in. Kind of strange how they finally do these things last minute. Have these things done in advance so that they can work together, they can practice together, and really start getting things going, so that it's much more comfortable leading into to a product. I mean, Amazon Prime from the NFL has been a little bit of a mixed bag, but actually I think it's a little bit better than what I thought it would be. But again, you learn to feel things out, and so we'll see what happens as far as Amazon Prime on NBA. But again, so many different venues. I know a lot of people are kind of ticked off about that, but I like it for the fact that I believe that ultimately there are going to be more games for people to watch and have access to without having to go ahead and getting League Pass, and that makes it makes it a little bit better. My rant's over on that one. But JS Jason, any chance Lakers do another star trade mid-season? Again, JSJ, I'll say it best. The Lakers, with all the fact that they have 8, I think I was corrected by Brian Windhorst. I said 7, but 8 contract players that have the ability to go ahead and free up some cap space, will look more attractive to teams as the season goes on. So January, February, once the December and January players become eligible to be traded, possibly, especially if our good friend Rob Pelinka is going to start feeling the heat. If the Lakers are middling and he starts feeling the heat and JJ starts feeling the heat, then absolutely look for the Lakers to make a move, or thinking about making a move at that point in time. They will abandon their freeing up cap space, most likely, would be my summation, because the pressure can get really high if the Lakers, with a Luka in his prime and then LeBron coming back, are in the middling part of the pack as far as in the Western Conference. Kurt says, gee, where do you think they can move De'Aaron Fox? That's a good question. I would say Sacramento for starters. Sorry. I had to say it. I would probably say, who is in desperate need for a point guard? You know what I'd say? Miami, Kurt. Tell me about your thoughts on that one. I don't know if they have the assets for San Antonio that they would like, because Wiggins, again, take it or leave it at his price point. But you'd have to look for somewhere where they really need Portland. Yeah, could you talk De'Aaron Fox into if you could figure out a way to get Advia and Kamara in a deal back for De'Aaron Fox. Maybe you get Scoot Henderson thrown in there in a package deal, but you probably have to take on Grant's salary, which San Antonio could. So if you could do something like that, I think that Portland would probably be the place that I would think about doing that. So Sports Baby said they were at TNT for no. Yeah, I know Sports Baby, and I like them. They're really good, and it's just like comfort food, Vari. But again, ESPN paid the big bucks to do what they do, and they're going to be doing it. And I want to see how NBC and Amazon Prime come in and bring their package to that. Will they bring anything memorable to their coverage, or is it just with NBC the nostalgia of John Tesh and what they once did, as opposed to what they're doing now? That's what I want to see. Again, TNT. It does. It's just the same. It's the same stuff that they're doing. This is old hack to them, and I like their show. It's still the best that's out there. ESPN did get stale. It is generic. It was generic. I'm not going to sit you and tell you differently, Eric. They had to pay a lot of money. I repeat, they had to pay a lot of money to get it, and I hope they get their money's worth. Again, I don't mind seeing Kenny, Shaq, Ernie, and Chuck. Because again, it's just like comfort food. But eventually, they're going to have to evolve into something else, because those guys are not getting any younger on that show. Like you said, they've been doing it for so long. Eventually, you have to find a replacement that can bring you that entertainment quality. And I don't think ESPN, NBC, or Amazon Prime has an answer for that just yet. Kurt says, I was hoping John Tesh brought his brother Dave Tesh out of the Kurt. Only you would think of that one, Kurt. Only you would think of that one. Sacramento would be comical, but I think Portland, Kurt, if I haven't put any real thought into it, but off the top of my head, Portland, if you could work out a deal, send De'Aaron Fox to Portland. I would not bring back Drew Holiday. I would not want Drew Holiday. Jeremy Grant, who had a great game tonight. Jeremy Grant did look like a player tonight, again. So even though he still has the NBA's worst contract. If you have to take that contract, ask for a Kamara and or Deni Avdija or Scoot Henderson as maybe Scoot Henderson. You have Scoot Henderson has to realize I really was rooting for the kid. I really thought he was going to evolve into something pretty good. When I saw that game with Wembanyama back so many years ago before Wembanyama came in the league that I talked about earlier. But Henderson right now, unless he finds a jump shot and finds consistency when he comes back from the injury, he may be destined to be a guy that's best suited to come off the bench. We'll have to wait and see, but I would work that out where probably Portland would be one of the places I would talk to with that. JSJ said, I don't know why media gives Clippers so much hype. Again, JSJ, I fell into it. I admitted to you guys, it was my fourth place team in the Western Conference. I really like the names. They have a lot of names on that roster. But are they going to play well together, or are they just too old? You have to put that into context. Today, they look like a team that was just too old, and we will see how it works for them. But again, they have a lot of depth on names of that roster, and we'll see ultimately works out. But again, I don't want to make too much into game ones per se, but we'll go over that here in just a second. Scoot had so much hype after playing with Ignite and this Paris. I watched that game. I told you I watched it live. I was so impressed with Scoot and how he played against Wembanyama in that game. And I really thought that the sky's the limit for that kid. And it just hasn't clicked. I don't know. And I don't know if it ever will. We've seen so many players where they just have all that talent and it just doesn't click for whatever reason. Clippers guy. Yeah. Clips got clip. Clips going to clip indeed. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciate you joining us. Again, the Lakers hopefully will be doing a lot better when they play the Minnesota Timberwolves in LA on Friday night. Go ahead and check it out on playback.tv. So Lakers Fast Break. And then, of course, the world famous post game right here at the Lakers Fast Break. So with that, I want to go ahead and let me go ahead and bring up the box score. Let me go ahead and see if you guys can be able to see this. But I'll see if I can pop it on the screen for you guys and see how this goes and see if this will work. And if it doesn't, we'll try to have to figure something out outside, or I'll have to try and figure it out another site. But I am using ESPN's box scores for now and seeing how that works out for there. There you go. All right. Let me see if I can pop it up one more of that. Okay. Well, let's see if that looks better. Yeah, there you go. All right. First game we're going to cover is the Knicks and the Cavaliers. I hope you guys enjoyed the game on that. It was the first game of the doubleheader on ESPN. And the Knicks, again, I think the Knicks are going to do really well. I talked to Nick Roloff. I hope you guys liked that interview on the Eastern Conference as a whole. I hope you guys really liked that interview I did covering the Eastern Conference. Again, this is a guy, he's on a YouTube channel that has over 400,000 subscribers, and he takes time to speak to little old me. I was just so glad he did, and he gave us a preview. But he is really high on the Knicks. And again, it's as far as you think Mike Brown is going to take it. And tonight we saw that, start for the Cavs. Again, I'm not going to put too much into it. The Cavs last year, they got off to that tremendous start, and they fed into that momentum all year long. This year, obviously getting off to a little bit of a struggling start. Donovan Mitchell is going to have to do a lot for them, especially with Garland out of the lineup. Mobley is going to have to take that step up. That's the guy that I think that's the thing. Mobley, I think a lot of people have been waiting for him to step up into a bigger role, to step into that, top 25 player area. And he teases you at times with it. Today, 22 and 8. Okay. 4 of 8 from 3. Obviously, that's a good sign because people were asking if he could develop that outside game. So we'll see exactly if that is going to be the case. And again, I've mentioned this in New York Knicks. There's, because of Mitchell Robinson being out of the lineup tonight, they started again, only 2 points and 4, 5 rebounds, 2 points, 5 rebounds, and a block shot. But still, the fact that Ariel Hukporti, yes, Armel Traore was on that. A lot of players, Bilal Koulibaly, Buzelis, I think, was also involved. Yeah, I have to take a look at the box score, but there was quite a few players that are now on NBA roster in that game, involved in that game, Kurt, that were either sitting on the bench or actually got some playing time in that game. But yeah, getting back to the Dixon Cavaliers, yes, I do want to mention that Ariel Hukporti, who was drafted behind Bronny, started for the New York Knicks, and I'll just leave it at that. My thoughts on that by now, if you've heard this show at any length in time and repeatedly. I just think that, again, there were some issues there. Why did you let a 7-footer that was still available with athleticism and size off the hook by not drafting him and instead drafting Bronny, when you could have let him just a few picks later get him as an undrafted, but you didn't. And now Ariel Hukporti started the game tonight for the Knicks. Karl-Anthony Towns was a game time decision, but 19 and 11 for him. Obviously, struggle, but he's struggling with an injury right now. The key there for them is, so again, can they mesh into Mike Brown's offense, giving some of the ball more to Bridges and Anunoby, Towns, to have them work their magic as far as giving them more opportunities in the offense, less dependency on Brunson. But still tonight, you saw with 23 and 5 for him, 12 and 13 from the line. There you go. It's something where we're going to see a lot more of Jalen Brunson. They'll fall back into it. These teams, let me just go ahead and say this. These teams, like the Lakers did last year, they started out the season with JJ's motion offense and looked really good, but then you started to see a little bit less in November, in December, still kind of saw it. And then in January, with the turn of the year, you started to see them revert back to what they were doing before and get comfortable with it. The NBA teams always revert to their old habits. And again, it looks good right now when they're sharing the ball with Mike Brown's offense. It's up to him as a coach to have them stick to it. But if Jalen Brunson, again, it gets to the point where Jalen Brunson's just dominating the ball once again, that might be a problem going forward, because we saw that could only take you so far. Yes, he was inefficient tonight, but we're going to see a lot of that, I think, 805 as far as going forward. Again, he's still going to get a lot of looks, indeed. So I'm not going to be too detrimental on that. They got the win. They scored 119 points. So offense was really something they wanted to lean into right there. So let me bring it back into the Hornets and the Nets. Surprisingly, 136 put up by the Hornets. Or is it really that surprising? It is the Nets. The Nets could easily be the worst team in basketball. I think they might be. the worst team in basketball because MPJ and Cam Thomas are your top two players. And yeah, that might be a problem right there. Let me put you this right there. Today was the debut. I talked about how this year's draft class is leagues ahead of what we saw last year, with a caveat of the Brooklyn Nets. 5 first-round picks, guys. 5 first-round picks, and I'm not sure any of them are going to hit. I have very little confidence that any of those 5 are going to hit as players, but we'll see. Ben Saroff, yes, that tonight, as far as Drake Powell, Igor Drummond, Nolan Traore, and Danny Wolf, who didn't even play. And he's one of your first-round draft picks, and he didn't even play. But on the other end, in Charlotte, guess who started at center for the Charlotte Hornets? That's right, guys. Ryan Kalkbrenner started for the Charlotte Hornets tonight. And we say, okay, what's the big deal about that? The Lakers, if they traded, remember they made 2 trades in the second round of the draft to move up to get Adou Thiero, who has not played at all, didn't play in any summer league, who's still injured right now for the Lakers. If they'd gone up 2 spots more, they could have gotten Ryan Kalkbrenner, a 7-footer out there. 10 points, 11 rebounds tonight, 2 block shots. Again, pretty good debut for the Charlotte Hornets. Brandon Miller, a lot of people are really high on Brandon Miller. 25 points for him tonight in LaMelo Ball. Kind of subdued, 20 points and 8, but hey, that's what you want, because when LaMelo Ball tries to act like, LaMelo on 5, take all the shots, that isn't the best for the Hornets. But when they're playing more together, this is kind of I don't want to say I don't even think they're going to make 500, but keep your eyes on this starting 5 with Com Kneppel, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, Ryan Kalkbrenner, and LaMelo Ball. A little bit under the radar there. I'll just say that. Again, not thinking 500. Not thinking 500, but I'm thinking that, it could be impressive to see as far as what they do. 35, 37 wins, maybe a possibility for Charlotte this season, especially in the Eastern Conference. Eric says the Nets are the worst team in the NBA. I would not dispute you, even after number 1, only 1 game today. Serge says, I can't believe the Nets have these players. Weak style. But he's on the Lakers, gets a pass. There you go, Serge. There you go, indeed. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. Let's get to the next game on the list. Next game on the list was Orlando and Miami. I know that this is a team that we had talked about. Let me get this game up here, right here for you. It was Orlando and Miami, talking about them tonight. For them, Magic take it 125 to 121. Actually, a little higher score than I thought, because, one of the things I've always talked with Alfred Esmond is Orlando is only going to go as far as their offense will take them, because they've been one of the worst offensive teams for years, even as they bring all these studs in there that can do so much defensively, size, length. They could bring so many things to the table defensively. How was their offense going to go? Well, Desmond Bane comes in there. They trade for him, trade multiple draft picks for him, comes in there. And obviously you can see the early returns is a good start for them offensively. Defensively, the giving up the 121 was kind of a surprise. But, again, if you can get 125 or around 120 points a game for the Orlando Magic, I think Alfred would tell you he'll take that as a win any day of the week. And Norman Powell, for those that are playing in fantasy leagues, if you do not have Norman Powell, or if you're benching Norman Powell, you might regret it, at least early on, because he will probably lead the team in scoring until Tyler Hero gets back. And I'm just going to say that because he takes over the Tyler Hero space, and he takes over the Tyler Hero spots. And by the way, Davion Mitchell looks like he has turned his career around after being an afterthought in Sacramento and Toronto being thought of as only a defensive only guy. Last year, we saw little hints that he was getting more well-rounded. We talk about Vando not ever evolving in his offensive game. Davion Mitchell looks like he has become way more competent on the offensive end, and 16 and 12 assists tonight for him is a good sign for Miami. They didn't get the win, but again, Davion Mitchell could be someone that could be a very proven point guard in the league. He could someone that maybe be thought of as a competent NBA starting point guard going forward. And we know he can play on the defensive side, and could he ever get the offensive going? And again, if you're in Miami, you did get the loss, but Triple J, after a terrible year last year, him going for 13, I think is something that you guys got to be positive and think that's a positive going forward. But Khalil Ware only getting 14 minutes after being impressive in the preseason, I thought was a mistake. And I'm just going to say that out loud because I'm really a fan of what Khalil Ware can do. And coming off of a decent rookie season where he showed some signs, in my opinion, they're going to have to start finding a way to play him 25 minutes a game instead of just 15. I just think that's kind of a mistake on their part. But getting to the Orlando Magic, Banchero, the idea here is this. Okay, take a look at their shots. Take a look at their, as far as Banchero and Wagner, their forward set, 16 of 34. That's a really good percentage for them. If they can shoot like that, right around 50% as a collective between those two, that would be a huge bump up. And we talked about, if the Magic do well this season, Banchero has to take that next step. Pretty good start, 24 and 11. Didn't need a huge game from him tonight because Desmond Bane immediately paying dividends tonight. 23 points from him, 3 of 6 from 3. That 3-point threat opens up the floor for Wagner and Banchero. That's something really impressive. And Jalen Suggs, 14 points in 17 minutes, coming back from the serious injury. If he can still be one of the best defensive players at the point guard position, plus provide you some consistent offense, that is a big plus for Orlando. And with Wagner, I'd love to see his brother, the ex-Laker, Mo Wagner, try to get back into the swing of things. He didn't play tonight, but definitely want to look forward to seeing what we can see if he comes back after the serious injury that he had last season as well. Next game we're going to cover is the Raptors. And one of the biggest surprises outside the Clippers. We were so high on the Hawks guys tonight. Sports Baby says take out Mitchell and put Luka, and that's finals automatic. Okay, well there you go. I will say that Sports Baby who put that in there. I think a lot of people were kind of wondering, trying to figure out Toronto, because Toronto they want to win now. They have a lot of money that they've got on the line. Masai Ujiri, who's no longer with the team, invested a lot of money into this starting five. Then they brought over that late trade at the trade deadline for Ingram and signed him to a fat contract. They expect a lot in return. And tonight, maybe you'll start seeing Raptors as one of the surprise teams in the NBA. We'll have to wait and see. RJ Barrett, who a lot of people were thinking as an afterthought, the guy they want to trade. By the way, if he's still out there in your fantasy league, you might want to consider picking him up because he is listed as a guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. So he not only plays a very amount of positions, he can shoot from 3, plays solid basketball. Tonight, 25, 8, 5 assists, and 2 of 4 from 3. I think he's going to be right around 20 points and really a solid contributor. For me, as someone as a bench player in many of my leagues, and I think I'm going to be happy. But not only that, he is versatile. So if you get injuries and he stays healthy, he can fill in a lot of gaps for you guys. Scotty Barnes, also one of those players who plays multiple positions from Fantasy Basketball League. 22-9 as far as in 6 rebounds. My old friend, Rafael Barlow, who works now for the Dallas Mavericks, he said, why do you spend the number 5 pick on a glue guy? Well, you could say the same thing about Amen Thompson, but Amen plays so great defense. If Scotty Barnes can continue to play like this and develop his shot and shoot the way he did today, he didn't take a 3, but 9 of 14 overall, 20, if he can average 22, 9 assists and 6 rebounds, I think that he could see an all-star appearance this year or next from him. Jakob Poeltl and Emmanuel Quickley. Again, Emmanuel Quickley, not a great night shooting, but 13 and 8 assists for him. I know a lot of pressure's on him because he signed a nice big fat contract after being sixth man of the year in New York. So we'll have to see what happens. And Joe's favorite player, Grady Dick, just signed that contract before the start of the season and scored 21 points. But Joe's favorite player coming off the bench, it's going to be hard for him to find time starting, but we'll have to wait and see what's going on for there with him right there for you. But let me go ahead and touch on the Hawks here in a second. Go ahead and take a drink of water real quick. Sorry about that, guys. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. We're touching on the Hawks and the Raptors. Raptors won 138 to 118. The Atlanta Hawks. Where do I start? I mean, we had such high hopes. They had what looked like to be the best offseason as far as transaction-wise tonight. They did have the starting lineup a lot of people were hoping for. Jalen Johnson, 22, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. I mean, that's a good start for him. He has to stay healthy and on the floor for them to succeed. Trae Young, not efficient. Again, with Trae Young, you're not going to see a lot of efficiency for him. You're going to see a lot of touches and a lot of shots. 11 and 13 at the free throw line, so he knows how to get to the line. 22 and 5 assists. Again, a little bit underperforming, but it is the first game of the season. And again, he's not yet been extended, so that is going to be a storyline through the season, is if he decides to take his services elsewhere or if he gets signed to an extension by the Atlanta Hawks. But Porzingis being healthy out there playing, I think is a good sign after what happened this past season in Boston. 20 and 7 for him, 2 block shots. Dyson Daniels getting that fat $100 million contract, not the way you want to start off with just 4 points. So Onyeka Okongwu, though, you got to feel bad for the kid because every time he thinks he's going to be the starting center in the league, for the Atlanta Hawks, something always happens. They played Capella in front of him for years, and then now they've got Porzingis to play ahead of him as well. So he's coming off the bench once again on that. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays itself out. Let's go to Boston and Philly tonight. Philadelphia takes it by 117 to 116. And what can you say about VJ Edgecombe? 34 points. One of the biggest, I think, scoring for rookie opening night since Wilt, I think was mentioned by ESPN. Tyrese Maxey, by the way, 40 points for him. And they did this all without, really Joel Embiid only giving you 20 minutes and 4 points. It really was a negative when he was out there. So if he gets himself into shape, they bring back Paul George and he becomes anything again. Look out for the Sixers as far as maybe a surprise team along with Toronto as well. We'll have to wait and see how that gets itself out. Quentin Grimes, he's going to get a lot of opportunities. You saw 32 minutes for him tonight, and we'll see if he can correlate that into a solid season going forward. So we'll have to see because he's got a lot of writing because he only took the 1 year offer. He only took the 1 year qualifying offer, and so he will be a free agent as well. Yes, but shout out to VJ Edgecombe, 34 points tonight, and Tyrese Maxey had 40 as well. Yeah, JSJ said I forgot Ingram was on the Raptors. Yeah, he was traded at the trade deadline from New Orleans to Toronto. Again, we'll see how that works out, but Toronto's got a lot of money invested in that starting lineup. Everyone in that starting lineup has got a fat contract, so they have to start paying dividends. And they just paid Grady Dick, Joe's favorite player. So yeah, definitely looking forward to see how they work out and if they're going to be a team that can compete in the Eastern Conference. And Philadelphia, once Embiid starts to being anywhere, can he be anywhere near what Joel Embiid once was? I think that's the question regarding there. Yes, sir. You love how I put that in there on Joe. That emanates back from that when the Lakers played Toronto in Toronto last year, and he kept saying, and kept joking about Grady Dick and his name. Joe always goes to the lowest common denominator all the time. For an adolescent that he is at times, and that just was. He's like Beavis and Butthead. Just the name gets him. Starts laughing like that when he kept saying that. So if PG played, they would have lost. If that's the case, that you could be right, JSJ, but they do need him back. And $50 million. We talk about LeBron sucking up $53 million, but when LeBron comes back, we probably expect out there to a person out there, 25 and 5, something 20 points, 22 points a game, six rebounds, 6 assists. We expect something of the level of a return on the 53 million when LeBron comes back. But Paul George, terrible last year, and that guy's still, right there, $50 million a year. Ouch. So they need some return on investment on that one. If they get that in Philadelphia, watch out. Could be something to see indeed. Next is the Memphis Grizzlies and New Orleans Pelicans, 128-122. The Grizzlies over the Pelicans. It could be a long year for the Pelicans. It's just so weird, though, because, again, you have Zion Williamson, a guy that, if he stays healthy, could be thought of as one of the better players in the league. Tonight, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, a lot of the offense is going to funnel through him. Trey Murphy didn't shoot well, but I still get. I think that the sky's the limit for Trey Murphy as a number 2 player on this team. And Herb Jones, 17 points for him, for a guy that's supposed to be your top defender, can be one of the top defenders in the league. That's a good sign. But again, they didn't play enough defense tonight as a whole. So we'll have to see what happens with their season going forward, and the fact that they kind of, might have messed up Derek Queen as far as the trade for Derek Queen is concerned. Giving up an unprotected for next year's draft. 3 points was not an auspicious start. I think a lot of pressure is on that kid, Derek Queen. I really feel bad for the kid because they made that trade. Now you bring in a kid, you gave up an unprotected first, and now Derek Queen, so much pressure is on that kid to succeed. Otherwise, it's going to blow up in your face. And really, that is putting so much pressure on the kid. I really do not envy that kid at all. But the other rookie on that team, watch out, 17 points. Again, another good performance by a rookie to start off the season, Jeremiah Fears. Look for them, if they can somehow move the Jordan Poole. Well, then again, they've got Poole. They've got Murray that's still injured. What do you do with that? And then you've got to give time to Jeremiah Fears, who I think could be a really good rookie as well. So that's going to be an interesting situation. Once DeJounte Murray comes back, where do you play him? How do you play him? Do you play him off the ball? Do you play him at a point? Jordan Poole, do you have him come off the bench? Jeremiah Fears, how does that work out? So we'll have to wait and see. Triple J, coming off that massive contract, he was healthy enough to start the season. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 block shots, which is really what they need him in there for. No Zach Edey for a while. So they had to start Jock Landale. So that's where they're at right now. KCP, 15 points. Hopefully he can resurrect his career after the lost season in Orlando. And Ja Morant, 35 points. Ja Morant, a key. Can Ja Morant get back to the star level player that he once was? Tonight, 35 points, off to a great start. So we'll see what happens with that. And Cedric Howard. Guys, watch out for Cedric Howard tonight. 5 of 5, 4-4 from the free throw line. 14 points for him. But he is someone that you might want to keep an eye out for right there. Because it could work out to where Cedric Howard might become a player in this league. Just watch out for that. But off to a good start. He was perfect from the field and for the line. So definitely talking about there. Jet Gregg says issue is Bronny not stepping up while his dad is out. Well, Jet, as I mentioned earlier, starting tonight for the New York Knicks, I don't think anyone had this on their bingo card, was Ariel Hukporti. And again, they didn't do a whole lot, but the fact that he is starting center for the New York Knicks and the Lakers could have had a chance to bring in a quality 7-footer that was drafted 2 spots or 3 spots after Bronny tells you all you need to know. about that. And it's just very disappointing to see that they made that choice when they could have picked him up as an undrafted player. And you could have got Bronny, I mean, and could have drafted a 7-footer who is contributing in the league instead. But they went the route and we'll go ours. But that was the game with Grizzlies and the Pelicans. Again, I wanted to go ahead and touch on one thing as far as the Boston Celtics, because I know a lot of people are not really going to be high on Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum. There was more word today that Jason Tatum is probably going to play at some point in time during the season, sooner maybe than most people thought. They'll need him because starting Sam Hauser and Neemias Quinta, Quinta had one of his best games of his life at 17 points, 8 rebounds. I remember he was waived by Utah at one point in time to tell you all you need to know. But yeah, if you thought he was going to be the starting center, obviously they need some type of size in there, and he brings it for them. But yeah, he was waived by Utah. So we'll see the fact that he might have a career after all, 17 points. So Derek White, Jaylen Brown, you're going to get a heavy dose of that in Boston of Derek White, Jaylen Brown, because that's pretty much your team in a nutshell right now in Boston. So we will see how that works itself out. Milwaukee and Washington. Want to go ahead and touch on that a little bit. Chris Middleton rises from the dead as one of the veteran contracts who are probably going to be moved at some point in time in the season, because I believe he, CJ McCollum, and also as well, of course, Marcus Smart's contract all come off the books at the end of the season. My guess is that they will probably not get traded, that Middleton and McCollum may be waived after the trade deadline and become available as a free agent through that point, because they want to take the money off the books. They may be traded, but in order to do that, you're going to have to offer the Wizards quite a bit or a lot of the expiring money in return on that. So Chris Middleton tonight, 23 points. Kaishan George is a guy to watch to see if he's going to be a consistent player going forward for the Washington Wizards. I know they're starving for one of these young guys to start leveling up their game. So we'll see how that looks itself out and plays itself out. But with the Washington Wizards tonight, Kaishan George with 21. No Joe today? Don't need Joe. JSJ, we don't need Joe. Joe's here is fine. That's great. But if he's not, oh well, no biggie. You got me. I'm not chopped liver. Don't need Joe. Anyways, again, Washington Wizards, again, we'll see how Kaishan George, because they need one of these young guys to pop, whether it's George, whether it's Carrington, not Vucevic, of course, the famous hand washing stuff, but Cam Whitmore, we're still high in Cam Whitmore. That kid's going to get a lot of shots now in Washington. And then, of course, Trey Johnson, their top draft pick this year, 16 points off the bench. I'd say he starts before not too long. Trey Johnson does. So we'll see what happens there, especially if they start losing a lot, which I think in Washington, they will lose a lot. But, Giannis with by the way, 37, 14, and 5. Gary Trent Jr. providing some help to him, but we'll see what kind of his Giannis is like Luka. What are the other guys going to do? Are the other guys going to be consistent? Are the other guys going to be helpful to them? Are the other guys going to produce? So Giannis's Milwaukee Bucks will only go as far as the other players on the team will go for him. And after that, not a whole lot coming off the bench as far as productivity wise. But again, Giannis scoring 37 for you. Will that be enough to go ahead and be able to get this team going in the right direction and get them in a chance where they're competing at the upper level of the Eastern Conference? We'll wait and see. But probably the biggest surprise of the night was the Utah Jazz at home. 21-point victory over the Clippers. It wasn't even that close. It was pretty much a rout throughout. Tonight, the Clippers, they're going to clip. And we had a lot of, some people have a lot of thoughts on them. Some people had a lot of thoughts as far as them not being good. And to be honest with you, I thought they were going to be good because, again, they have a lot of depth, at least a lot of people I thought that can contribute on that team. And tonight they didn't get it done. James Harden struggled tonight. Zubats JSJ's favorite player, 19-7. Even he didn't rebound at the level I think that they needed him to rebound tonight. But yeah, just an overall disappointing performance for the Clippers and for the Jazz. Again, Svi Mykhailiuk. If you had Svi Mykhailiuk on your bingo card as starting for the Utah Jazz tonight, God bless him, man. That guy, and I'll tell you again the story. I'm going to take this off the screen here for a second here, but Svi Mykhailiuk. Thank you, Sports Baby. Truly appreciate it. Svi Mykhailiuk. What's up, Trojan? Fight on. Tough loss. Hopefully we can still get it going and maybe find a playoff spot, but they have to beat Oregon and they have to win the Big Ten, or that find a way to be in the championship game for the Big Ten in order for them to get there. But yes, I'll get to touch on Kessler here in a minute. But I will say this: God bless Svi Mykhailiuk. I remember, if you guys remember when he was drafted that night, and Jay Bilas went off on him when he was drafted in the second round. Went off. He was a younger kid. For somehow he was a 4-year player, yet still was only 19 when he was drafted. I think it was weird because he started so young. And the guy, Jay Bilas, could not, and Jay Bilas was on tonight. You heard him on commentary. Could not just go off. He went off on Svi Mykhailiuk as far as short arms. That's all I heard, is short arms. And again, credit Svi Mykhailiuk for finding a way to survive. He played quite a bit in the G League, got his chance. I think he won a title with Boston, but give him a shout out, man, for being there. And somehow he survives, like Dwight Powell. Just like a cockroach, still finds a way to hang around in the league. Tonight, 3 of 4, 9 points. It's going to light up the scoreboard, mind you. But the fact that Will Hardy trusted him to step in as a veteran, because he's a veteran. He's played a lot of years in the league now, guys. Believe it or not. Hasn't played a whole lot of games, but he's played a whole lot of years in the league. Shout out to Svi for surviving in the NBA and not having to go ahead for the easy money overseas or anything like that. Working hard in the G League, finding a way to win despite his short arms that Jay Bilas went off on him about. So credit him there. But of course, you guys, you're right. Walker Kessler tonight, 22, 9, and 4 block shots. Lauri Markkanen chipping in 20. Keontae George, again, if they get something from him consistently, that's a big key. 16 and 9 assists. And then coming off the bench, Brice Sensabaugh. I talked about him as being possibly developing one of the best shooters in the league. I also talked not only in the days leading up to this game tonight, but also if you checked out my Utah NBA team previews, I like Sensabaugh a lot as a shooter, and coming off the bench, it looks like he's going to be their heater for them coming out the bench. Taylor Hendricks trying every way to not prove it. He's a draft bust with 13. Walter Clayton Jr. I know a lot of people liked Walter Clayton Jr. As a late first round pick. Solid player, solid effort tonight. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Ace Bailey, though. Again, I don't think the Jazz should have any aspirations on winning. They said they were not going to tank. Well, tonight, only playing your star player, your top 5 pick, Ace Bailey, 20 minutes, getting only 2 points. They at least showed for one night that they're not going to go ahead and tank. But we'll wait and see how that works itself out. But yeah, very interesting game tonight. Jazz with the biggest victory, most surprising victory tonight, 129-108 for the Clippers. We're going to go ahead and touch on the Dallas game and San Antonio, 125-92. We talked a lot at the beginning of the show about this, if you guys didn't hear. Victor Wembanyama tonight, 40 points, 15 rebounds. The most surprising thing is only 3 block shots. I thought he was like all over there, and I thought he had more than 3 block shots. I was just surprised on that. JSJ says Kawhi should get traded. Well, the league might find a way to get him off the Clippers at some point. We'll see. But Lakers need to trade for Porzingis ASAP. Yeah, that would be a bad idea, Ruggie. He got 20 points tonight. He looks like he's healthy. But the Lakers are not going to make any trades anytime soon because Rob is a stubborn individual and wants to stick to that freeing cap space going forward for the future. But I agree with you. I think having a Porzingis would help Luka immensely right now. But Wemby is a monster, JSJ says. Yeah, absolutely. Could not agree with you more tonight. 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 block shots. Stephen Castle, again, I know Devin Vassell, solid player. If he's your small forward, you put him around with a better power forward. I think it might work out there. I think they should trade De'Aaron Fox because I think you need to start Castle and also as well Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper in his first game, 15 points. Stephon Castle, 22 points, 6 assists. Again, developing the second year, but Dylan Harper coming off the bench, 15 points. I don't know how much longer you got to keep the kid on the bench because he really, really looks like he's a player tonight. He was very fearless in his. The first thing he saw was that he's fearless in his first game action, and that was really the most impressive part to me about his game tonight. We talked about Phoenix and Sacramento a little bit, I think before, but we're going to go ahead and touch on it a little bit again. Again, tonight was about the DeRozan and LaVine show for Sacramento. 30 points and for LaVine, 29 and 9 for DeMar DeRozan. That's great, but both those players are over 30. In case of DeRozan, how much longer can he give you? But he is going to get a lot of shots, and no Sabonis in there tonight. So they played it close, but these two teams, I think, are about equal as far as their positioning, and you will see how it evens out between those two over the course of the season, how it works out. Malik Monk with 19 off the bench. He has been in constant trade rumors, and I expect him not to be on the team by the end of the season. But tonight, Dylan Brooks got 24 shots. Again, don't expect 24 shots when Jalen Green comes back. I think that between Green, Booker, and Brooks, you're going to see, I'd say about 50 shots between those two. But Brooks tonight, 22 points. Grayson Allen, 18 points, playing in the place of Jalen Green, and Devin Booker with, oh, by the way, 31 points indeed. And again, I'm just weird how they didn't play Mark Williams as their starter. They played Oso as their starter, and Kaman Malawak didn't even get off the bench tonight, which was disappointing, especially because you saw how he played against the Los Angeles Lakers. So yeah, absolutely. JSJ said Kings blew a 20-point lead. That should not surprise you. That should not surprise you at all. Vari says, who can they trade from G? One very good player or two good players? Again, they do not have any valuable trade assets, the Lakers do, until it gets closer to the end of the season and teams want to become more attracted to those players who have money coming off the books to free up cap space. So if the Lakers get desperate, you should see more activity. Or if they get off to a bad start, that could really change things for dynamically for the Lakers as far as they're thinking. But right now, Rob is going to be very stubborn, in my opinion, trying to stick to that 2 timeline thing that they're doing right now. But if it really starts to get bad and Rob starts to feel the heat, we should be talking a lot more trade rumors here in the coming days if that's the case. Sports Baby said, not LEFG. I'm talking about, De'Aaron Fox. Oh, no, not to the Lakers. Yeah, I would say Portland. Again, we were talking earlier, Sports Baby. I was talking De'Aaron Fox should be traded. I would probably first place I'd look is to the Trailblazers for Advia, Kamara. They would probably ask you to take on the salary of Grant, who looked good tonight, but he's still on one of the worst contracts in the league. But Jeremy Grant tonight, if he's getting 29 off, Jeremy Grant will not continue to get 29 off the bench for you. Let's just start with that, okay, guys? But if he can average 15 to 17 on the season coming off the bench for you, it does make him a little bit more attractive, but he still has one of the worst contracts in the league. So we'll see what happened. Young Hansen in his first game action, only 5 minutes, 2 points. So that all that hype going in that didn't turn out to be very much. Matisse Thybulle, I know you guys wanted to trade for Matisse Thybulle. Again, no offense with him. 2 points in 14 minutes. So yeah, absolutely. 14, that's not a good ratio. We already see that with Jared Vanderbilt, where you have this average to above average defender in some people's eyes and just not giving you anything, so far below on the offensive end. Shaden Sharp, 20 shots tonight, only terrible percentage for both him and Drew Holiday. They were 10 of 35. That was the nutshell. That's the game for them right now. 15 and 14 points respectively for both of them. Drew Holiday at this point, I think it's got to be a 6-man coming off the bench. I think, but of course the Scoot Henderson injury kind of necessitated Drew Holiday thrusted into the starting lineup. I expected more of Donovan Clingan getting the minutes now, the bulk of the minutes at the starting center, but especially with DeAndre Ayton not there and didn't do much tonight. But Deni Avdija, right there, Vari, if they could get a Deni Avdija, I think that would really help them out. And then also Kamara, but that's what I would do right there. I would look at Deni Avdija as maybe one of the keys to a De'Aaron Fox trade. So Search and Destroy said I would take him over JJ. If I'm being honest, I would rather take neither. I would take Frank Vogel. That was just me, but that's my point right there. But we're stuck with JJ's contract, JSJ, for 5 years. At this rate, I'm not sure if it will play itself out like that. Because if Rob's fired, I think that JJ will go soon after that. Because the Lakers probably will not have a good season, which will cause the firing of Rob Pelinka. And I'm believing that JJ will probably be on the outs as well. Because, again, if they're going to bounce Rob Pelinka and all the years he has left on his contract, I don't think they would be afraid to do that as well. And Mark Walter, remember, him and his group were spending $10 to $12 billion. $10 to $12 billion on the Los Angeles Lakers. So they will probably be ready to go ahead and make that kind of money. The surprising thing here, I'll talk to you guys in a second, because Minnesota, they did pick up the victory, 118 to 114. 41 points tonight for Anthony Edwards. Really good performance from him. Again, can he take it to that next level? He certainly looked at it tonight. 5 of 10 from 3. If he shoots like that, man, that's going to be tough to stop. Dante DiVincenzo didn't do much in his first game as their point guard, and I use that in quotation marks, ahead of Mike Conley. But what that does, as Randall and McDaniels gave you 19-18 respectively, is bring Conley off the bench, who doesn't do much for you coming off there. 3 points, just some solid minutes on the bench. But Terrence Shannon Jr. and Rob Dillingham. Okay, Terrence Shannon Jr., these were the rookies last year. They brought him along slowly. 10 points for Terrence Shannon Jr. tonight. But Rob Dillingham, I don't know if it's due to injury or what, did not play. DNP. I don't know if it was just an inactive DNP or if it was injured, but that's got to be concerning if because so much is riding on Dillingham to take that next step to be the point guard that they want him to be. And if it's not going to work out, that's going to be something interesting, because they was a top 10 draft pick. But yeah, Search, Randall's starting decent on that new salary to start the new year. Him and Reed. Reed didn't get off to a greatest start in the world as a 6-man, but again, Randall, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. I know we've had from time to time on this show in our chat some really big Randall supporters. Like Randall could do no wrong. Randall could walk on air, walk on water, especially on our playback. Man, we were going back and forth on Randall. As far as him, he plays a certain style, and it can adapt well to your game. We've seen it before, especially in his All-Star year with New York. But it also can work against people because he has a certain style that is not always conducive to team basketball. But if you find a way to best utilize him, it can work out for you. And we saw that at times in the playoffs last season. JSJ says the Wolves are going to cook us next game. Well, obviously winning on the road to start off with, they've got a lot of momentum, and we're going to have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. But yeah, that's the full scoreboard, my guys. So we'll have to wait and see how that works itself out. But thought I'd bring that to you. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you joining us. But I will be back on Friday. What about Mike Malone? Yeah, Mike Malone. Thing is, though, he said so much trash, Sports Baby, about the Lakers in his time at Denver. Would he or if I was a team, I don't care how much trash you talk. If you think he's that good a coach, you go and make the effort to go ahead and make the offer. But if you don't, again, up to Mike Malone to decide if he wants to, if the offer were given to him. But Mike Malone said some pretty bad things about the organization. Definitely think that I I would like to see, if he's obviously the biggest name out there as far as I'm concerned, with the most success out there. Now, whether you wanted to apply it to him or to Jokic, but I think he's a good coach. And again, if I was coming in and I think JJ was not getting it done, I would consider it. I would consider it, but I don't know if the Lakers would, because again, he has trashed the organization so much in his previous history at Detroit, in Denver, and he thought he could walk on water because he thought his stuff doesn't stink in Denver. But we found out that the owner didn't want the GM and he didn't want the coach, and so he sent them both packing. They got tired of them feuding against each other. Didn't matter if they brought a championship together or whatnot. Gone. Yeah, that's a new organization right there. So wait and see what happens. Thank you so much for the super chat, Serge. Truly appreciate you doing it. Says great job, G. Absolutely. Wanted to touch on the opening night, and I would like to do this from time to time, where the NBA observations type deal. I used to do that as a show. I may bring that back, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about the scores tonight on the first real full night of NBA action. Although there's still teams like Var's team, Indiana, Denver didn't play tonight, but most of the teams played tonight. So we've got at least a sampling in the opening night, which teams were ready to go and which teams need a little bit of help at here on out. But again, does this, is tonight just a precursor to what will happen through the rest of the season? I would say it's one game in many cases, and we'll see how it evaluates itself out from there. But over the weeks and months to come, I definitely will not only provide my own input on the NBA and keep you guys enlightened on what's going on in the NBA, but I also want to go ahead and make sure that you guys get a beat on the NBA, because I will bring back a lot of the people that you saw in those interviews, in those team previews over the course of the season. I will catch up with a lot of those individuals, hopefully all of them, during the course of the season, and catch up and see how they're doing and how their teams are going to do as well. Sports maybe we gonna suck. Xbox did think you guys were going to suck in Indiana, so as well. Search Troy says great entertainment per usual. Jay, great entertainment as usual. G, appreciate it. Tell JSJ that, but he said, "Oh no, Joe, bummer, no Joe. Joe, it's Joe. It's great to have him here when he's here, providing his insight. But I'm here, be all in. I'm still have a good time for 2 hours. So don't put me down there, JSJ. Don't put me down there, JSJ. No need to cut me. No Joe tonight. We did just fine. We got through it just fine. A lot of people were still here, just fine by me. And again, I want to thank you so much for sticking with me and enjoying my thoughts on the Lakers after one day. I'm not going to put the panic button, as I say on Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Don't hit the panic button too early. But last night was not a good performance. They did have a video session earlier today in practice. JJ did say LeBron James took the sunglasses off and was very helpful and led in the video session. I'm sure that would have been interesting. Would have loved to have been a fly on the wall on that conversation with him chastising all the rest of his teammates out there and see how far that went. Especially after he looks so stoic, Jeremy, as we called it last night, all dressed up. I just didn't like the fact when Luka did well, like he got a 3-point play, I think, at one time, and they cut right to LeBron, because they want to do that to create the drama, and he's just sitting there so stoic and unfeeling, unemotional. Kind of bothers me a little bit. But then again, this is LeBron we're talking about. And again, I've had arguments back and forth with people that LeBron, again, using the term I've already used twice already, walks on water with a lot of people. And he's one of the greatest players of all time. Nobody can ever take that way. But, with LeBron, it's just, it is what it is. We got to go ahead and deal with it. But Yeah, he was a great part of the video session earlier yesterday as we go past midnight here. So we'll see how that translates into a better game, hopefully on Friday. Sports Baby says JSJ. No, JSJ is good. I think he only ticked me off once, really once. I think, but that was a misunderstanding. But it was all ironed out really quickly. Sports Baby, we're all cool tonight. But yeah, he loves his Joe, and a lot of you guys love Joe, and I can't say blame because again, Joe is the guy it's. There's no in between. I mean, with me, there could be some people who even don't care about me either which way. You can't do that with Joe. You either love Joe or you hate Joe. There's just no in between with Joe. And so I get it. He has his following. I get it. I understand. So again, and he has his opinions and again, some of it's very astute. Give him credit. And last night he gave, or Tuesday night, he gave his opinions on it, and a lot of them were really helpful. And hopefully he will return to us. And he said he tried to make it tonight, but he couldn't make it. So again, we hopefully will have him here on Friday. But I'll be back on Friday since I'm already actually recording on Thursday technically. I'll be back on Friday. For those listening on audio, I will be posting later today my interview with Yaron Weitzman. Again, if you're on YouTube, though, you can actually see the video now I had with the author of this book right here, A Hollywood Ending, The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers. I will put the link in the description once again. Yaron Weitzman, once I catch all up with the description, I will put the link in the description. Get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books, or if you want to get the Audible version, or if you want to get just the Kindle version, just the digital read, doesn't matter. Go ahead and check it out. It is a great page turner. If you want to see hear about the salacious details, they've been leaking out some of the excerpts from this book all over the internet. So it's been very interesting to see. But yeah, go ahead. Really, if you are a Lakers fan and wants to know what's gone on behind the scenes in El Segundo for the past 10 years or so, mainly, I would go ahead and get this book, A Hollywood Ending, The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers from Yaron Weitzman. It is really, really good. It's about the insides of what it went on as far as just before LeBron came to the team, his recruitment, Sports Baby, and all the stuff that's gone on behind the scenes since the 2020 team, and the stuff that went on with Westbrook, that fiasco. There's a lot of stuff we didn't know. There's a lot of things that we've not talked about on this show, or Empire Jeff, or Jovan Buha, or the Kamenetskis. A lot of stuff none of us in the Lakers bubble, I'm not a Lakers bubble, but the guys in the Lakers bubble, a lot of those reporters did not report on a lot of the stuff that was on behind the scenes. And some of it's small stuff that you guys would find amusing, but some of it's like larger, like, no wonder why it went south. No wonder why it went this way. I really highly recommend this book. It is, again, A Hollywood Ending, The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers by Yaron Weitzman. I have an interview with him that's available now on YouTube, and it'll be available sometime on Thursday on audio for Spotify, and also as well, of course, on Apple Podcasts. So yes, absolutely looking forward to it. Serge, really appreciate your support. All the mods, Xbox, JSJ, Search and Destroy. Jeremy, we have to get you into the mix as far as you said you wanted to. Big bit here quite a while. If you guys, did you make him a mod? I don't know why. If you guys can make him a mod, if you can't, let me know. I'll try and catch up with Jeremy and see if I can do so. If you guys want him a mod, so yeah, let me know if you guys want to make a mod or if you made a mod. That's up to you guys on that. But great to have you here once again. And last but not least, again, I really want to take a moment to thank. I know he's probably not listening right now because it is late. I really want to thank Drip Show. You see behind me, right there, Kobe, Luca with the canvas art, and you see right here, he has been so gracious in sending me over this. I'm so grateful, eternally grateful to Drip Show at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. If you really want some quality work like this, I highly recommend bringing him in, going ahead and following him, sending him a message, say, hey, I'd like something like this. I have an idea. In fact, I was thinking about. I told you guys here on the show. I mentioned about a couple weeks ago. I have a Lord of the Rings shirt I wear, but it's starting to get old. Starting to get. I would love to make a Lakers style Lord of the Rings shirt. And I'm going to talk to Drip Show in the coming days if he could come up with a design that really would be cool to either wear or maybe canvas art. So I just something like that. I'd love to go ahead and do. But he could do that in a hat, shirt, pillow, canvas art. Again, hit him up, Drip Show Shop. Support him. It is a small business to support small businesses by hitting up at Drip Show Shop on there as well. Okay, absolutely, Search. You let me know, man. Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are, Search, and in the coming days we'll go ahead. But yeah, you always got my line. You always got my ear. LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. And remember, you guys, if you always guys want to hit me up, I'm always trying my best to answer you guys back on the email, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. I get to it a little bit faster than the YouTube comments, but remember, you can always try the YouTube comments as well. But be patient with me on the YouTube comments when you post it after the show, because I try to get back to that whenever I can, but I seem to only get back to it every other day or 2-3 days. So I apologize for that, but I'm trying to work on that faster. But the email, I look at that constantly throughout the day because I get a lot of stuff going through there that's show related. So yeah, absolutely. Great comments today. You guys were great in the chat. We've had a real good run in the chat. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we can continue that there. JSJ says I'm banning. Well, don't be mean like that, JSJ. He's a good kid. He comes on rarely. He came on the other day for opening day. Didn't say anything too bad. Just said he was backing Arsenal now. He's bandwagoning to the Dodgers. We got him to bandwagon to the Dodgers from the Angels, and now we got him to bandwagon, or he's now bandwagoning to the Arsenal. Let him do that. Good for him. Good for him. But yes, JSJ, come on. The kid's not. At least he's not talking about his AI girlfriends anymore. That's a step in the right direction. Maybe he even has a girlfriend. I forgot to ask him if he has a girlfriend now. Because remember, he was just, for lack of a better term, that horny kid that was just like all over with his hormones, talking about girls. He's a teenager, so he was playing that role to a T, and he was. That's what got Joe and you and everybody else so annoyed with him. But he was actually been pretty good the last time he was here. But I got to reach out to see if he's if his love life has gotten better. Because there used to be times where he would reach out to me and want to hear my advice, and I would have to go ahead and be as polite and respectful as I can, and try to tell him to defer. I try to defer as much to his parents. Your parents are probably better suited to have these conversations with you on that. And I always made sure I CC'd my legal attorneys to make sure I don't get busted or anything like that. So, that type of deal is like, not sure I want to do this, but I wanted to respect the kid because he was going through a lot of issues back in the day as far as just life issues, as far as growing up as a teenager. A lot of questions that you and I had when we were that age, but I'm so happy for the kid. He sounded a lot happier last time around. So I'm rooting for the kid. But yeah, don't ixnay him. He's not done anything to piss us off lately. So yeah, be good to him, JSJ. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. Going in the right direction, man. He said he was an A student. He's trying to go about things the right way. God bless him for that, man. God bless him for that. All right, enough of me ranting. I've ranted on for 2 hours and 28 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know that you did not have Joe here. John Costa couldn't make it. Vari and Sports Baby, I asked to come on the show. Instead, they decided to argue with each other off screen, like they do a lot. But I was glad to have you guys here. And again, I'll tell you what, guys, if you guys have a good camera and a good headset or a good microphone, why not jump on with me? You see me now doing a lot of solo shows. If you want to come on and share your thoughts on the Lakers, all you have to do is hit me up. Just jump on. And then remember, I've got Saturday 11. I am steering the Lakerholics. I've got Laker Tom, Michael Heinrich, and maybe L Rob Saturday 11. So look forward to that as well. And then, of course, Friday, I will be back for the game. the Lakers in Minnesota on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. I'll have that up for you guys. Vari will be there. I know some of the other guys will be there. I will try to be there. Probably going to be mobile for first part of the game, watching it on my mobile. But I will be there as best I can. But then, of course, I'm back for you guys on the post game, world famous post game right there at the Lakers Fast Break. L, what's up? It'll be hard for them without Bron. Yeah, it is going to be hard, bro. I mean, you're lose as much as we are hard on LeBron on this show. It is 20. Let's just say with a year's regression, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 6. You can't 6 assists out of the lineup. That's a lot to take out of the lineup. Just the fact that you don't have another viable high-level, top-level scorer or threat that the defense has to worry about, it does take a lot away from your game. And we saw that on Tuesday night, how much it affects the Lakers. They become much more one-dimensional. It becomes more like what you guys were talking about yesterday in the chat or Tuesday in the chat about how it becomes more of a, well, it's your turn, Austin. Oh, it's your turn, Luka. It's your turn, Luke. Your turn, Luka. Your turn, Austin. Your turn, Luka. Your turn. It became more of that. It became very predictable. With Braun, just the viability of having 3 playmakers out there on the floor does give the defense a lot more to worry about. But we need the other guys to step up too. Rui, very disappointing start to his season, especially when he's playing for a new contract. DeAndre Ayton as well. Marcus Smart did give us a lot of good effort in that, especially in that first half. But the foul trouble, his aggressiveness is going to be something you guys are going to have to deal with because he's going to get into foul trouble a lot. And Austin Reeves getting into foul trouble in the third quarter. He should have been taken out of the game by JJ before that to not get that 5th foul. But again, some mistakes were made. That third quarter has got to be something JJ has to address. And I don't know, whatever he needs to do to get that right, to be more competitive in the third quarter. But the Lakers cannot continue to be a dismal third quarter team like they've been for seasons, multiple seasons now. It has got to stop. They have to be more competitive in all of the quarters, primarily. So, Sports Baby, it is 12:30 a.m., so I'm going to shut it down. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. TT, there you go. All right. Great to have you here. Thanks so much again for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Again, I would love to have you a part of our family on a regular basis. Go ahead and hit that bell for notifications, so you can go ahead and check out the next time we're on, or I bring something up, or I post another video. Again, I'm going to do a lot more interviews, so you guys are going to get a lot more pre-recorded interviews over the course of the season. And then, of course, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. I will try to do another simulcast. I haven't been copyrighted for that one yet, so keeping my fingers crossed I can continue to do it. So I will probably do a simulcast on YouTube for our voice chat. If you want to watch the game, remember I have 20 VIPs I can give out to watch the game for our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then, of course, after the game on Friday, I am back at you here with hopefully Joe or John or whoever is going to stop by right here for the world famous post game as well. So, yeah, Search, JSJ, Current Affairs, Sports Baby, LTT, everybody else, for everybody out there that was watching and listening, cannot thank you enough for doing so. I have babbled enough along. If I was helping you at all on your drive to work in the morning or helping you along through your day of work in the afternoon, I truly appreciate you allowing me to go ahead and do so. There you go. So Current Affairs says Friday will be great with the World Series and Lakers. Yes, this is the best. I talked about this earlier in the week, Kurt. This is the best time of year for sports because you have the NFL going on right now. Obviously, that's the number one. You still have lots of soccer action that's going on around the world. You still have, of course, basketball starting up. College basketball is around the corner. College football is in high gear. You have the World Series that's taken place. NASCAR is in the playoffs. I know that NASCAR is not the popular sport it once was, but there are still people that are connected to it. I still have an affinity for it as far as the NASCAR is concerned. So I still watch it from time to time, and I keep up on it. So yeah, all those things are going on at once around the world, as far as in the world of sports. So yeah, definitely is one of the best times of the year for sports. Absolutely. And then JSJ says he's tired of watching WWE. Well, if you're watching AEW, you're watching fish bowls right now in AEW. So I don't know. You tell me. WWE or fish bowls in AEW right now. That's what's troubling right now if you're a wrestling fan, because it's not the greatest product right now in WWE, and it's AEW again. AEW's got a lot of injury issues, so they don't have a lot of headliners. And then again, right now they're leading into a lot of gimmicks, as they've always done, and it's good and bad with that. But we'll, there you go. JSJ says he's glad basketball's back. I am glad as well. But again, truly great to have you guys here. JSJ, despite your little shot at me with wanting Joe here, I still appreciate, as always, my friend, you watching. Especially, you've been on here for 2.5 hours. You're here for our playbacks. I owe you a debt of gratitude. All kidding aside, I owe you a debt of gratitude for spending so much time with us. And I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. Please, if you're out there and you know somebody that runs a radio station that would like a sports show that it really has some good bite to it, or if you have a friend out there that loves basketball or loves the Lakers, please get them involved with the Lakers Fast Break. We do need to get to a larger audience. Running at this level, yeah, quite honestly, I know we all say it. I know all of us in this level say it a lot, but this is not the level that we need to be at to be successful for the long term. We need to have more subscribers. We need to have more views, et cetera, to be a viable business going forward. And only you can make that happen. And if you guys do and you get us to that level, we are eternally grateful. But we're going to try in the interim as best we can to provide you the best quality product that we can, provide you the best quality interest. I was humbled the other day when I read, when I was doing my pitch to radio stations, and I did some research, and I found out FeedSpot has us as the number 2 Lakers broadcast. I think Lakers podcast. Yes, we're the number 2 Lakers podcast according to FeedSpot, for whatever that's worth, and the number 3 basketball show in California. California-based basketball show. Again, I don't know where they come up with these things. I certainly don't feel like we're there yet as far as the success or whatever comes from it. But again, I'm truly grateful for any type of audience that we have, and would love to hopefully see more success for all the hard work we're putting into it be rewarded. But as I know, this is a weird world we live in, and that's not always the case. Just because you put a lot of time and effort in something doesn't mean you always get the returns that you feel that you deserve. So we're just putting it out there and hoping you'll enjoy it. And hopefully one day we'll transcend into a larger audience that you will continue to be a part of right here at the Lakers Fast Break. So again, current affairs, JSJ is chaotic good. Yes, D&D. Yes, I remember. I used to play D&D like during COVID. That's something I picked up for the first time in a long time, was playing D&D again, and I caught into that for a couple years. I've gone off it, but I still have fond memories from my time, because it's so time consuming to play Dungeons and Dragons. It is so time consuming to play, but my time was very enjoyable playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it helped me get through a pretty dark time in our world during COVID. And I'm very grateful to all those that I played D&D with for that. So yeah, it got me through a rough time, and I was really looking forward to my times each week playing it, and definitely appreciate my times. To shout out to our DM Roger and to everyone else that was a part of what we're doing right there. If you can actually look at on Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook page, I think the videos are still out there, like hours and hours and hours of footage. I was playing role-playing games on end at the Pop Culture Cosmos on Facebook. So yes, Kurt Affairs says, yes, the number 1 Nevada-based California basketball show. I don't know who at FeedSpot, but again, thank you to FeedSpot for doing it. If you want to go ahead, I'll take it. I'll take anything I can get at this point that helps out the channel. But it is Gerald Glassford. I have babbled up enough. It's 12:41 in the morning. some of you guys out there need some sleep. I know I need some sleep, and hopefully I'm going to get it. I'm going to rest up, and we'll see you Friday for the game against Minnesota. Remember, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. I will try my very best to go ahead and put it on YouTube on a simulcast, at least the chat. You can't put the game, but you can put the chat. Our very expressive chat. It is very adult, as they get very adultish on those playback chats. But yeah, we want to join us there. And then afterwards, of course, the world famous post game right there at the Lakers Fast Break. Hey, Adam, what's up? I'll get you before we head on out. Would you mind a starting lineup of Luka, Austin, Rui, Vando, and Ayton? Well, I had said, Adam, to be honest with you, if you weren't here about a week ago, I said what our starting lineups would be. And I thought JJ, because of the fact he was starting him in the preseason and the fact that he is a known quantity, a name, would, and because, defensively, they still have a lot of issues, as we saw last night, would put Vando in the lineup. I don't know if it makes the team any better than the Gabe lineup that we saw last night, but I do not like Gabe in the starting lineup. I'm being honest with you there. So I guess, but I'm not high on Vando. I think Vando is one of the worst decisions extending him that Rob Pelinka has made, and Rob has made a lot of bad decisions in his time as GM. I think extending Vando is in the top 3 right there because he's so bad offensively. But he is 6'8", and he plays acceptable defense, which the Lakers need right now. So yes, Adam, to answer your question long-windedly, I would probably lean into starting Vando. Maybe Marcus Smart. Again, Marcus Smart, I wanted to see how that worked out as far as him playing 25 minutes a game. Maybe you have to pull the trigger on that sooner and start Marcus Smart. But I'm worried Marcus Smart is so aggressive that he's going to be in foul trouble quite a bit. And if you start him, he's going to get in foul trouble right away. And that holds you back throughout the rest of the game. You have to think about it consciously if you're the coach, whether or not you can keep putting him in the game because he gets into foul trouble. But if he does get 14 points or thereabouts and provides you almost the same level of defense that Jared does, hell, you got to put him in there because who knows when Jared's going to score. I don't know. Jared hasn't scored yet. So that's going to be a problem. But Adam, I would try the Vando thing first. As much as I've denigrated Vando, the basketball player, I would probably put Vando just because he's 6'8", can rebound a little bit, can play defense a little bit, even though he's such a minus on the offensive end right now. But again, if Marcus Smart continues to stay healthy, I think that JJ will probably look at that as well, especially if Gabe continues to struggle, as we saw last night. Curtifer says we just need Tony Allen to Vando. Yes. Well, Tony Allen seemed like a better offensive option right now than Vando. So that's the problem, though. But good question, Adam. Good comment there, Kurt. The way back, great to have you here as well. Please like and subscribe. Truly appreciate it. Sports Baby says that starting line was all plumbers except Luka. Well, I mean, it is what it is. The Lakers just don't have many options. A lot of that is on Rob Pelinka because he didn't go out and really utilize his assets when they were the most valuable right after the season, especially with those guys that are like Austin and Rui that at that time, the contract year were valuable to those people, those teams looking to see if they can plan their future. Now, once again, they'll be more valuable as it gets closer to the trade deadline to teams that are going to, once again, reevaluate their future going forward. Because the main times you reevaluate your season, reevaluate your future for teams is during the early parts of the summer and then also with the trade deadline. Those are the two major times you reevaluate how your team is going to be going forward and what you could really do to make fixes for them. And the Lakers didn't do anything, really. They just picked up 3 guys on the cheap, and we'll see what kind of returns they're going to get from each of them going forward. So we'll see how that works out. But greatly appreciate your thoughts. But yeah, great question, Adam. That's what I probably would go with that lineup. I don't know what you're going to get out of it, but again, Vando brings more size. Gabe is just too small, and if Gabe's not hitting shots out there, he doesn't play good enough defense to get the job done, as we saw last night. So, once again, it is Gerald Glassford. I want to appreciate everyone for watching and listening. Again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm heading on out. But again, go ahead, like and subscribe. Be a part of what we're doing here at the Lakers Fast Break. Again, for audio listeners, you will see on Thursday, some point in time, pop up my conversation with Yaron Weitzman. If you've not read that book yet, go ahead and get that book today. It is, again, A Hollywood Ending, The Dreams and Drama of the LeBron Lakers by Yaron Weitzman. I have that interview with him right now available on YouTube. Appreciate it, Adam. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you on Friday night, where the Lakers meet up with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Playback, simulcast on YouTube, and then, of course, the world-famous postgame brought to you from all of us right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Good night, everyone. Or good morning, everyone, actually. Be safe.